Welcome to a reaction stream ahead of Game Week 26 and looking at what's happened in Game Week 25 so far. There's still plenty of games yet to be played in Game Week 25. Well, just one actually, Brighton versus Man United. And another dismal week for me. I mean, is it really a surprise at this point? Probably not. I've gone down yet again to around 164k, but still looking for something to be salvaged by my two United players and Cucurella, at least the outfield ones. I've got De Gea, but to be honest, all of them are blanking so much that it doesn't really feel like a triple up right now. But welcome to everyone who's tuning in right now. It's a Sunday evening as opposed to the Saturday morning stream we had yesterday, so thank you very much for tuning in. If you've got any questions, anything you want to say, then put it in the live chat. We're going to be discussing a few things, such as Game Week 26. Are you going to be using the triple captaincy on Salah? I probably am. I can't see a possibility where I just don't put the armband on the Egyptian. So welcome to all of you. I'm going to be greeting all of you very soon. And yeah, I'm just 35 points right now, 36 if you include Dennis. So I'd probably be around 171k with Dennis coming off my bench. That late Dawson goal wasn't too good really, but here we go. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So welcome to Singh for tuning in. And yeah, Watkins, I saw that. He was a bit unlucky though, as the Flying Dutchman points out. But yeah, Watkins is a bit of a frustrating player, FPL-wise, unfortunately. George putting Trippier. This guy just keeps scoring free kicks. It's absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? He has a track record of offside goals with Reguilon not playing. Somehow arranged that offside. I mean, to be honest, all of these players have been very frustrating. Reguilon, I still think he's a hold, but he got benched today as well. Sterling, Sterling hat-trick. I mean, there you go. And some people got rid of him, and to be honest, I don't blame them. I probably would have done the same thing, got rid of Sterling for Bruno, and these things can happen sometimes. Welcome, Vigard. Good to see you on here once again. And yeah, I'm good. What about you? 78 points with 4 left. That's amazing. Yeah, that's very good. How has this game week gone so bad? It depends. You know, some people would have Sterling or a few others that did very well. But yeah, in my case, it was very bad. But, you know, there is still a game left. What do you think about bringing Saka instead of Son for Game Week 26? I still prefer Son. And he's always getting the chances as well. Obviously, against Wolves, I don't think he's ever scored against them. And he did score against Southampton, and it's Son. You know, with Saka, he's looking very good. And if you're looking at performances recently, yes, he has been better. But Son is just clinical. And I think in terms of FPL output, he is far superior. Triple captain Trent, fair enough. And either way, I probably will not be doing that. I'm going to bring Salah back in. The problem I have, and I'm going to be showing you the price rise sites, FPL statistics, I might actually have to make the transfers now, which is not ideal, but I think I could get away with it. Will you take a hit to get rid of Jota for Robertson next week? This is the thing with Jota. I was surprised they got benched today, but I do think this is going to be a theme from time to time. You've got to stomach it, and I think around Game Week 27, that's when I'm looking to get rid of Jota. But to answer your question, it is probably worth it long term, but I still would keep Jota because even if he just starts one game there, I think he could do very well and maybe even outscore the fullbacks. But that's very difficult to say. And in general, Robertson gets much more bonus points than Jota, kind of taking that Leicester game aside. Welcome, Paul. Good to see you here once again. Broke into the top 20k. Yeah, I mean, with that score you said, I'm not very surprised. But congratulations. Hopefully you can get into the top 10k and beyond. Hey, mate from Greece. I had Cancelo captain and De Gea vice captain. Armband to him for both games. Oof. Let's see. So, yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and very nice country. I've been to Greece a few times. Cancelo captain. Yeah, De Gea will become your captain now. So, yeah, no worries about that. That's how it works. Whenever your captain doesn't play, even if your vice captain has a double game week, they're going to become your new captain for both of those games. So it's a bit weird, but that's how it works. I think captaining Trent instead of Salah could be good. Yeah, I mean, sometimes thinking of these differential or different picks can work out, but I really back Liverpool to score quite a lot of goals against those two teams. And maybe, you never know, Norwich or Leeds could nick a goal. So that's why I would favour Salah, but Trent is a bonus points machine, so I can see where you're coming from. Made early transfers, CR7 to Broja, KDB to Salah, Martinelli to Son -4. That looks good. And I'm looking to do something similar. I'm going to show you later on in the stream. Bowen got 10 points, got an assist on Dawson's goal. Yeah, when I checked live FPL.net, it didn't register as that, so I'll check once again and see, but I think you might be right actually. So I wasn't able to see the end of the West Ham game, unfortunately, because I was setting up the stream and other stuff, but thank you very much for pointing that out. I'm going to check it now and see if there's a bit of good news there. But yeah, a lot of people will be having Dawson coming off the bench potentially. Maybe not a lot, but a few people will. So let's see. let me double check this. I'm going to go now on the full screen. So here we go. And let's check livefpl.net. And let's just put this here. Enter ID. So let's see. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, Bowen's got 13 points. So that was this Bowen guy as well. He's so in form, and I actually spoke about this in the last few weeks. He's probably like the main midfielder other than Salah that I think is almost a must-have, despite the fact that he has no doubles really right now. So yeah, thank you for that. I'm going to update the scores now. So bear with me for a second. So thank you very much for pointing that out. And yeah, I'm going to update the scores now. So yeah, I've got 40 points. Yes, I've got a few more points now, and I hit the 40-point mark. But yeah, nothing to celebrate really. So let's get this up, and yeah, this will be changed in a second. Just a bit of editing magic, really, if you want to say that. So here we go. So I've hit the 1,500-point mark as well. So yeah, 1,502. So yeah, just 1 second. This should be all done now. Any second now, and I'll get back to your question. So yeah, once again, thank you very much for putting that out. And there we go. All right, that should change right now. Let's go back to Game Week 26. Let's look at Game Week 26 instead. And there we go. It's changed now. And once again, thank you to everyone for tuning in today. Let me scroll up the chat a little bit. Yeah, 13, nice one, bonus, huh? Yeah, exactly. He's got all the bonus points as well. He was on, I think after the first goal he scored, he was on for 4 bonus points. Then it went down to 2. And then, yeah, he's gone back up again. Let's see, what else have I missed out on? So yeah, thank you once again, Roberts, for pointing that out. Much appreciated. And Milan. I had Dawson all this time, and let me actually refresh the page. So let's go back to that one and refresh. And there we go. So yeah, that's Bowen's double-digit return. He's going to get 3 bonus points, and that's 13 overall. So not too shabby. I had Dawson all this time since double for this day. Dawson was potent in youth. OGs know his worth. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Dawson, I actually almost got him or Sufal him a few games ago. I didn't end up doing it, but you know, he's been pretty good recently. I have to say, West Ham defenders have shown a bit of value, but still not enough clean sheets for my liking. Very odd Rafinha sub, no? Yeah, I believe so too. I saw somewhere that he was kind of like gesturing to the sidelines that he wants to be subbed off, or that he has a problem. So I'm not sure what that's about. And I don't know, Rafinha, I saw his performance against West Ham and I thought, wow, I mean, I must have this guy. You know, he's looking really good. But ever since, he has been just ineffective and not influencing the game too much. Best Arsenal asset for Game Week 26, the same as I said yesterday. Pretty much. So Ramsdale for me is the best. Then if you're looking at outfield players, probably Saka and then Tierney. So that would be my top 3. But just a word of caution with these Arsenal players. Be careful, because obviously they're blanking already in Game Week 25. I said this before that deadline. But also Game Week 27. And if you're in a position where you have triple Liverpool, you've got a few Arsenal players as well in your normal 11, in your outfield players, it's going to be very difficult to avoid using the free hit. And you might want to use it in Game Week 30 or 33. So that's another reason why I'm kind of put off Saka myself, but he is still a great option and I would recommend him if you are looking for a double game week player in 26. I got 11 points with Lamptey with 1 game to go. Yeah, finally worth after holding for so many weeks. Yeah, that's the thing. Lamptey, I think that's his first double-digit return of the season. And, you know, other than Cucurella, I think I actually pointed out Webster, but I didn't expect him to score a goal. But there you go. Lamptey got the points there. Even if he doesn't start in the next game, that's already a very healthy return. So fair play. And yeah, I was never keen on Dallo, kind of looking at the other double game week players. He could still come good, but yeah, I think Lamptey was a good choice anyway. Yeah, Witters, I mean, Lamptey, he's so good, you know, on his day. The problem is the managing of minutes because of his injury record and also the amount of injuries he gets. That's the main concern with him. But when he does play, he can produce some big returns. But yeah, it's good to see finally some horse from the Brighton defenders. Ronaldo, Bruno, Bowen to Lacazette, Salah and Saka -8. Yeah, I think that looks fine. Lacazette is the one I would say no to, but Salah and Saka look good. Instead of Lacazette, consider Workhorse. He's got a double in 27 as well, and he's been looking good pretty much every single game. Fernandes to Salah, Backman to Ramsdale, and Antonio to Workhorse for a -4. What do you think? I think it looks perfectly fine, Anthony. It's pretty good. And any ways to improve that? I like the Backman to Ramsdale transfer, so long as you have a goalkeeper that can play in 27. Antonio to Workhorse looks good. Yeah, I'm pretty much fine with that, you know, and obviously it's your team. You don't need my approval or anything, but I think that looks really good. Fernandes and Alonso to Son and Tierney -4. Is it worth it? I believe so, yeah. Son, obviously that blank against Wolves will put people off, but I still would be keen on him, even though he's facing Man City. I have Sancho captain, watched the Middlesbrough game, and he was great. Yeah, I mean, in recent games he has improved. Even in the Burnley game, he showed signs of improvement. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, obviously he got the goal, and he was the main source of creativity in that game, and he just looked the most dangerous. But yeah, United, I don't know, they started the game so well. They go 1 goal up, and then they can't hold on to that lead. That's 3 games in a row now in all competitions where that's happened. So yeah, Sancho's a good pick, fair play. I never would have gone for him myself, and maybe that's a problem. Using my free hit next game week with Robertson and Trent in defence, fair enough. I think that looks good. If I were free hitting, I probably would include both if possible. So that looks very good. Should I transfer out Dennis for Broja, or I keep Dennis for the double? Well, Dennis once again didn't score. He blanked yet again, but he had a very good passage of play where he dribbled past a few players and hit the crossbar. That's just one moment though, but I do think Dennis has a bit of quality about him, but Watford are so poor, and offensively they're struggling. They haven't scored under Roy Hodgson, so it's going to be a defence first approach, and yeah, I'm not too surprised really. But Dennis could still be decent because he has a double. I would keep him for now. But maybe around game week 26, or should I say 27, 28, that's when you can get Broja in, and the fixtures are very good for Southampton. And even with difficult fixtures, Broja's looking sharp, and Southampton are scoring goals. Foden to Saka, yeah, that looks good. I did the Foden to Bruno move this week, and obviously Foden ended up scoring. Yeah, Bowen has 13 points. Yeah, 38 points, not too bad though. Now it's 40, I believe, when I put it in. And let me double check this, but I think I've got 40. I'll have to double check. But yeah. The Champions League will slow down a lot of the top Prem teams, potentially, yeah. Look at Man City. They had to rotate a bit this week. Cancelo got benched, which was a shame. But yeah, that could be a factor. What is the difference between using the play wildcard button for transfers and using the free hit chip? Kind regards. They're two different chips entirely. So the free hit is basically creating a team specifically for 1 game week, and then the following week or game week, your team will revert back to how it was before you played that free hit chip. Whereas the wildcard, that's completely different. The changes will be permanent to your team. So that's the key difference between the two chips. The same goes for UCL Fantasy with the Limitless and also the wildcard. Although the Limitless is different, you've got unlimited budget restrictions. You've got no budget restrictions in essence. But yeah, that's the difference. So let's see. Let me see how far behind I am of the chat. I'm quite far behind, so I'm going to try catch up. But thank you to everyone who's tuning in today. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe for new. We're very close to 10,000 subscribers, and obviously much appreciated to everyone who's already done so. So yeah, let's get this back on the road. Rotation done us all dirty. I think with Cancelo it did, and now unfortunately I've got Dennis coming on for me. Even Livramento was on the bench once again, and yeah, Rafinha got subbed off early. But yeah, Edouard last week as well when I brought him in. These things happen though, and in football, these players are machines. They sometimes need a rest, or sometimes different players need a start. Oh, so welcome. Let's see, what else have we seen? So yeah, I'll try to get through all these comments as quickly as possible. The Flying Dutchman says, went Ronaldo and Jota to Broja and Salah early. 2 free transfers. Don't usually make transfers this early, but Salah will be going up at least twice, yeah, and Broja once, with Ronaldo losing value. Exactly. That's a very good point. I'm going to now go through this. So let's see. Okay, no. We'll show that in a little bit. Here we go. So if we check this FPL statistics, Salah is pretty much already predicted to rise. So that's why I'm going to show you my plans very soon. And you probably saw something just there. I'm going to show you what I'm looking to do with my transfers. And there's one set of free transfers where I only have, 0.1 million left in the bank. So it's going to be very tight. If Salah goes up and if someone else goes down in my team, or if yet another player I want to bring in goes up, then I will be priced out. So I might even make moves very early on today, and it's not ideal, especially with Man City playing in the Champions League midweek, but sometimes you've got to take these risks. And I think with Salah, it is worth it. I don't want to go without Salah. He's definitely coming in no matter what, unless he gets injured. And as you can see, all of these players are close to rising, and Salah is he's going to be rising anytime soon. In terms of players that are going down, you've got Bernardo Silva, Reguilon, Watkins, Gray, Tony, Fred, and even Daniel James, you could say. Livramento is very close as well, just kind of pointing out the key FPL assets we have. Yeah, Bernardo Silva as well hit the post against Norwich. Reguilon was benched. I mean, that was surprising, but it can happen. And Reguilon's not completely nailed under Conte, which is a shame because he actually plays very well. And in terms of attacking returns or attacking threat, he's actually one of the best defenders since Conte's come in. So that is a bit of a surprise. But yeah, that's kind of a little brief overview. I'll be honest, I normally don't focus on price rises, but with the transfers I'm looking to do right now, it's fairly important. So yeah, as you can see, Salah is predicted to rise, unfortunately. So that is what it is. So back to my team. This is how I'm looking like for game week 26 at the moment. Doesn't look too great, but at the same time doesn't look too bad. So Jota or Trent would be my captain if Salah didn't come in, but he is going to come in. So that's kind of, that doesn't really matter. Salah will be my triple captain as well. And these United players, I can't wait to get rid of him, if I'm being completely honest. So let's see, what else have we missed? So would Salah be rotated for double game week? That is true. They've got a Champions League game in between and also the Carabao Cup final shortly after and between these game week 26 fixtures. But I don't think Salah will be rested personally. I could be wrong, but I don't think he will. 54 points with 3 players still to go. Yeah, I think that's very good. I'd be quite happy with that. I've personally have, I think, 40? I'll double check that again very soon. But yeah, with 3 players left to go, I'm guessing you have one of Ronaldo or Bruno, maybe both. That looks fine. Spurs look shaky, not so sure. Son move for double game at 26 now. Fair enough. The thing is, though, he's got a double, he's got good fixtures long term, and Son, even if the fixtures look bad or if Spurs look bad, Son can easily get returns. But I agree and I can share your sentiment. And that's a reason why I'm actually leaning more towards Son than Harry Kane, because spending over 12 million in a team like Spurs that are so inconsistent, so unreliable, yeah, I just don't want to spend too much money, I guess, on Harry Kane, if possible. So welcome, Patriotic Irish. And obviously, I'm very far behind in the chat. I do know that, so apologies. I'll get to you very soon. So let's see. Would you replace Ronaldo with to fund Salah? Edouard, maybe? Yeah, I think Edouard is one of the key names. Also workhorse, but I have to keep an eye. We'll have to keep an eye. I think he's got a potential injury. I've got to double check that. I wasn't able to see that game, the Burnley-Liverpool one, and also the game that just happened, Leicester against West Ham. So yeah, I think Workhorse or Edouard would be the 2 key ones I'd recommend, because the Watford or Wolves strikers, I don't trust them. Even Jimenez, who scored today, yeah, I still wouldn't go for him. Yeah, in terms of any news on Workhorse injury, let me know. So thank you for the question, Witters, but honestly, I have no idea about it. I wasn't able to watch that game. Bowen's 13 points increased my rank 128 places. In comparison, Son's 2 points got me 595 places, and Rafinha's 1 point to increase my rank by 257 places. It's interesting, isn't it, how these different points and the effective ownership can impact your rank. Time to get rid of United players, definitely. I'm looking to do that. I'm going to show you my transfer plans very soon after we get through these questions. I'm thinking about transferring in Eric Peters, worrying times. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for thinking that. He's got 2 doubles in a row. Workhorse, if fit, and also Cornet look pretty decent. Even Nick Pope, if you can afford it. But yeah, Burnley defence, I'm still not convinced by them, but they have improved recently. Yeah, Rafinha is quite injury prone. He's always flagged, isn't he? But yeah, typically it doesn't seem to be anything serious. He just picks up a lot of knocks, but yeah, that is true. I think Jimenez is not a bad pick. No forwards are on form. Yeah, that's true. I don't think he's a bad pick, but it's just if you look at the amount of returns he's got this season, it's very poor. Then again, you could say that about the rest of the strikers. And there's no real standouts. Right now, you probably say Harry Kane, Edouard, and Workhorse are probably the 3 best. Brozier as well. So those are like the top 4. Not much to work with, really. Antonio, who started so well, now he's not really an option. Ollie Watkins, he just always flatters to deceive. And Dennis as well, who looked very good for a large portion of the season. Now he's just been so ineffective, despite some moments of quality. Maupay also looks very good, actually. So my top 5 would be those 4 I mentioned and Maupay. Should I get Bowen or I'm late? Coutinho, Ward-Prowse. Honestly, I would still go for Bowen. I don't think look, in terms of are you late or not, I think you are late, but you can still get him in. It doesn't matter whether you're late or early or you hit him at the right time or whatever. I would go for Bowen for sure. Then it would be Coutinho, then Ward-Prowse, and all 3 look pretty good, if I'm being honest. If I transfer Fernandes out for Salah, will his points against Burnley count? No, they won't. It's for next week. So there's always a deadline. So the Game Week 25 deadline is already passed. Any transfers you make are for Game Week 26, so you're not going to gain any points or anything like that. It's not like Sky, where you you can gain points in a way, so you can get rid of someone as the game week is progressing. Bowen got 6 extra points because of Dawson. Don't curse my Valentine. Yeah, fair enough. Thank you, Dawson. Thank you very much. It hasn't actually made a difference to my rank. That's the thing. But honestly, it doesn't really matter at this point. It's still terrible regardless, or at least considering where I was before. I still think 100k is not too bad. But yeah. Yeah, I heard Singh. I think Workhorse got injured, but I'm not sure the extent of the injury. I'm not entirely sure. And I was actually going to show him in my transfer plans once again. I sold Foden, so did I. It can happen. And we weren't sure if he was going to start, and he did. And the same goes for Sterling. It was a difficult position to be in. Yeah, I sold Lamptey. You know, it is unfortunate, but, you know, because he had the double, I was recommending to keep him. But I'll be honest, I was never that keen on Lamptey because of his injury record and the amount of times he gets benched. Or at least, you know, his minutes are managed. Yeah, Foden to Saka looks fine. Bench Watkins or Antonio. Let's actually look at the fixtures. So, yeah, we already showed our game week 24 performance so far. 25, I'm losing count actually of all these game weeks. So, yeah, Dennis would come in, again, extra point, yeah, yada yada. So, if we look at the fixtures here for game week 26, West Ham are facing Newcastle, but Newcastle are looking very good at the moment, you know, much better than before. Or do you go for Ollie Watkins against Watford? I'd still probably go for Watkins, but both of them have been so poor recently. So that's how I would kind of go for that one. But yeah, there's not much in it. Watkins to Workhorse for a -4. I would say yes, but apparently he did get injured today. I'm not sure what the injury is like, but yeah, if anyone does know in the chat, then let me know. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see that. Dawson scored from his hand. Lol, VAR is so dusted. Once again, I actually didn't see that one because I was setting up the stream. But most of the goals pretty much this week, if not all of them, except the last game I've seen. And yeah, VAR, look, I think it's the way they use it and the referees that are in charge, whether they're in Stockley Park or the ones, just anyone operating VAR. So I think that's the problem, not VAR itself. Should I bring Salah now or wait? Honestly, it depends. If you're going to be priced out from your muse, then I would go for Salah now. Otherwise, if you can afford to wait, then I would say go for it. And that's the ideal situation, waiting until as close as possible to the deadline. Fernandes to Son next transfer. Yep, that looks good. And I'm doing something similar. I think it's still good. I know Son, you know, is not really the flavour of the month, but it doesn't matter. He's still a quality player. Gabriel, Tierney or White? If you can afford it, Tierney. Yeah, as Thomas says, I think Tierney. Best 4.5 million replacements for Dyer. I'd go for Kilman. Let me double check this because he might be 4.6 million. And if he is, my apologies. But yeah, I think Kilman would be it. If not, Aït-Nouri. But just bear in mind he could be rotated from time to time. 30 points bad game week. Yeah, similar to me, you know, bad game week. I'm going to check this once again. So let's get this up. And let's go here. So I'm going to refresh the page and see. Yeah, so 40 points, yeah, that's pretty much the way I'm going at the moment. 41, so I would go down to 171k post subs, and Dennis will be coming on for Cancelo from my bench. And I've got, you know, the triple United, De Gea, Bruno and Ronaldo left, Bruno being my captain and Cucurella. So yeah, this is pretty much accurate. I've got 40 points right now, but obviously 41 after Dennis comes on, and that'll be updated in the team selection videos and all of that. That's coming very soon. So let's go straight back to it. And yeah, I'll be honest, I'm still not very happy with the score I have, but not too surprised considering the amount of players they've blanked recently. Workhorse, that's a nickname I haven't heard before. That's the thing, I saw like a joke or something saying that Burnley basically sign him because it means workhorse in Dutch or something, some next up joke. But yeah, Weghorst, I probably pronounced it wrong. If there's anyone Dutch in the chat, which, well, actually the Flying Dutchman, you're Dutch, aren't you? So yeah, you can correct me on that. I'll be, yeah, Workhorse over Weghorst. Yeah, I'll call him Workhorse from now on, why not? Cornet or Weghorst, Waghorst, who is better? I honestly would go for Waghorst, but he is injured at the moment, or he could be, you know, out for game week 26. I have no idea about it. Once again, I'm actually going to check this right now and see what the problem is, but yeah, unfortunately I wasn't able to see that game. I just saw the Fabinho goal for that. Told you about Jota. Well, the thing is with Jota, I wasn't really too surprised in terms of him being benched overall, but in game week 25, yeah, I thought he would start. But yeah, it's going to be a thing now with him rotating with Diaz, Mane, Firmino. And I do think Salah's going to be the nailed one. Mane will play most games, but occasionally he could be benched. And Jota's going to be in and out. But either way, I think around game week 27, I'll get rid of Jota. But yeah, that game week 24 performance, you know, makes it very difficult to get rid of someone after that. Just brought in Salah for Fernandes now. Yeah, I think I don't blame you for that. Hopefully no injuries happen. Worth bench boost with City defenders or just triple captain Salah? I triple captain Salah. I think I'd do that. I reckon Arsenal have a good shot at 4th place. You must be very happy with the recent form recently, Dylan. Well, if we're being kind of nitpicky, not really, because that's the first game we've won in 2022. But to be fair, Arsenal have only played like 3-4 games, and most of them were in the cups, which, Arsenal were eliminated in all of them, of course. But yeah, Arsenal have a good chance, but West Ham are there, Wolves are there as well. I think they've 3 points or 4 points now behind West Ham with a game in hand, so Wolves, watch out for them. Spurs are still in it, don't be mistaken, and same goes for United. So yeah, it's going to be tough, between all those teams. And with Arsenal, they didn't sign anyone. If they signed a striker, especially a top quality finisher, then I'd be more confident. But yeah, I don't think there's still a long way to go, and I think all of them have a good chance. Can't wait for Reece James. Yeah, I mean, from Game Week 28 onwards, there could be a double there for Chelsea and some very good fixtures. That's when you'd probably want the Chelsea defenders back. Let's see, what else? So Jota out and Robertson in for a -4. I'm not sure. Personally, I wouldn't, but I don't think it's a bad idea, but I wouldn't do it. 39 points with Sanchez and Bruno captain to play. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, no, you could get into the 50-point mark, and that's what we're going to hope for, but let's just wait and see. Thank you, Fine Dutchman, for tuning in. Watkins versus Watford or Workhorse in double game week for a -4. Well, he is, injury doubt, and we'll have to wait and see. And once again, if anyone does know about the extent of his injury or any news about that, then let me know. I'm going to actually type in Workhorse on Twitter and see what else we can see. But yeah, I still would expect him to be available for Game Week 26, but I literally have no idea. But yeah, he apparently had a good performance today. Yeah. Obviously, once again, no idea if he's going to be out for Game Week 26. I don't think he will. What's the plan for Valentine's Day, Dylan? Honestly, I forgot it was Valentine's Day and there's no plans. Honestly, yeah. Digne versus Watford, Cancelo versus Spurs. I'd bench Digne. Cancelo, I'd start him. Even though it's against Spurs, I'd start Cancelo all day long. Should I triple captain Salah or Trent? I think both are great. I would go for Salah, but Trent is a great option too. I would just go for your instinct. If you have a feeling Trent will outscore him, just put the armband on him. Tell me one forward to give you points. Don't waste the transfer. Each and every one of the forwards is trash and constantly removing trash for trash. What do you end up with? Yeah, true, but Workhorse has 2 double game weeks in a row and he's actually looking good, Maybe statistically he doesn't have the greatest stats, in terms of goal threat, but he's looking pretty good. I do agree, though, all the strikers right now are very poor. And when we're talking about the best strikers, we're talking about Malpai, Edouard, Workhorst, who else? Kane, and I even forgot the other one. That's how bad they've been, Broja. So, yeah, I agree. They've been shocking. 41 with only De Gea left. Well, hopefully you can get into the 45, 50 mark. But, yeah, look, just move on to Game Week 26 and you could still do very well. Will there be another big double game week after 26? I believe so, yeah, around Game Week 36. And if that's the case, I'm looking to play my bench boost then. But who knows? There's going to be plenty of double game weeks. But in terms of big double game weeks, I think 36 should be the big one. It could easily be maybe a bit before, but I think it would be 36 at the time of this recording anyway. I was hoping for a good game week, but Cancelo KDB didn't start because of the Champions League game. Perhaps trying to get Salah back. I would definitely get Salah back, in my opinion, for Kevin De Bruyne. And I had a feeling Kevin De Bruyne would be benched, but obviously I never knew what was going to happen. With Pep, it's hard to guess him. I didn't expect Foden and Sterling to start, but KDB to be benched. Maybe all of them could have been benched, but I think Grealish was injured. That also played a part in Foden starting. There's so many different things that, play a part in the team selection. But yeah, Cancelo not starting was a shame. Makes sense, though. And I think that's his first rest pretty much in the Premier League, at least for a long time. I don't have Salah yet. Should I get him on a -4 and triple captain him or free hit next game week? I would take a -4 and triple captain him. If you're getting rid of someone like Bruno, I think it's the right time anyway, and it looks good. Welcome, Kobe. Currently on 37 points with De Gea and Bruno captain left. Also, thoughts on doing Ramsey to Saka and Bruno for a hit next week? Yeah, I think you could get something from those two. Let's just wait and see what United have in store for us. And Ramsey to Saka? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I still like Ramsey long term, and in Game Week 27, he's also a good option, even though he's very cheap, it doesn't matter. And Bruno for a hit next week. Yeah, I do like the transfers you're bringing in, but I don't like getting rid of Ramsey. 7 double game week players enough? Yeah, I don't think you need 11, I think 7 is enough. Robertson or Trent? I prefer Trent, but Robertson's still very good. What website did you use to check that? Was it the... apologies, I'm literally so behind in terms of the chat, so that's my bad. In terms of the website I use for the stats, or should I say the price rises, that's FPL Statistics. And yeah, I'm going to show you now another website, which is FPL.team. So let's go into that right now. And here we go. So this is how I'm looking like for game week 26 with these transfers. So Workhorse, if he is available, I'd bring him in. He wouldn't be my vice captain, by the way. Let me change that. So here we go. For some reason it refreshed, so I have to change all of this. I definitely wouldn't bench all of these players. So Son would come in for Cucurella. And yeah, I think I'd probably bench Dennis at the moment. If not Rafinha, definitely not benching Bowen right now, even though Newcastle looking good. And yeah, it's between Digne and Cucurella really to start there. So that's how my team would line up in game week 26, potentially. So this website is FPL.team. Check it out. It's very good for planning ahead. And obviously you don't need to take too much of your time, but you know, very easy and simple tool to use. And this is the other set of transfers I'm looking to make. So instead of getting Son, I'd get Harry Kane. But in defense, to facilitate the move, I'd do Cucurella to Cody. So let me know which option is best. Option 1 and getting Son and Workhorse, or option 2 and getting Kane and Cody. I'm probably going to put a poll out very soon and you can offer your thoughts. I think yesterday I put a poll out in the channel and over 80% of you voted for the one with Son, so this one, the first option, and that's kind of where I'm leaning more towards. But I do like the Wolves defenders, they look very good, but Workhorse does have 2 doubles very soon, so let's put Son as my vice. If not, it could be Trent, but yeah, Salah would be my triple captain, and I might make these moves tonight because I could be priced out with Salah going up and other factors like Ronaldo going down. So let me know what you think, and let's go back to the chat. Yeah, okay, I have no idea what that is, but yeah, just gonna sort that out. My man of the week, Trossard, clown emoji. Yeah, Trossard is just, I don't know, I got burned by him as well in game week 22, and I don't know why I got him in, to be honest. It was just a double game week hype, and that's a lesson for me. But sometimes, you know, these players like Malpai, who typically you think he's not really a good FPL asset, they end up doing very well. And Malpai was the main striker or forward from Brighton that I was kind of highlighting, but you know, he easily could have done poorly as well. What's your chip strategy? As I disclosed in my last few videos and streams, I'm using the triple captaincy in game week 26 unless something changes. In game week 30 and 33, I'm looking to use my free hits. Also, the bench boost in 36 if there's a big double game week, and the wildcard would be used between game weeks 31 and 35. But I have to stress, these are open to change. It's just how I'm looking like at the moment. And by the way, I think I just realised the website I was using before, Anel, as well as the FPL statistics one, is livefpl.net. So there's a lot of FPL sites, as you can tell. All of them are very good. Welcome, Zodiac. Thank you for tuning in. Cancelo, Laporte and Reggie on bench. Classic FPL. Yeah, exactly. More to come as well. More to come, I think. Digne or Watkins, who to bench? It's tough, isn't it? Wow. Judging by how Watford are playing recently, you'd probably rather start Digne, but Watkins could easily get a haul here. Then again, we say this most weeks and he doesn't. Bruno to Son, Cody, Dalot to Cody, Johnson to White, too short for Tierney from -8. Already have Salah. That looks good, Powdell. Yeah, I think that looks good. And maybe instead of White, you could consider, well, you've already got Cody, so maybe go for Davis, even though he was shocking today, by the way. I'm really fed up with Antonio, so who's the best replacement? As we've basically discussed all stream, all of the strikers look bad, but if you want a double game week player, then you would have to go for either Edouard or Workhorse, and Workhorse has 2 doubles in a row. Otherwise, if you're not really bothered, maybe go for Malpai up until game week 28, 29, and also you're looking at, almost forgetting the names here, so you've got Brozier and Watkins already. The other one would be, I think that's it, yeah, those are all the names. Yeah, so there's pretty much no one to choose from. I have a bench of Fabianski, Brozier, Cancelo and Dalot. Do you think the bench boost or Salah triple? Good question. I would rather play the triple captaincy because also you're going to have more opportunities later on in the season to, you know, have a bench that can get as many points as that or even more. In terms of the triple captaincy, how many times are you going to have a player of Salah's quality facing 2 teams that are as bad as that? So I would go for the triple captaincy, Liam. Should I go for Son, Bruno out, Son in? Only if you don't have Salah. Or should I say only if you have Salah already. If you don't have Salah, just do Bruno to Salah and maybe find another way to fund it. But yeah, I think Son is good. Saka or Odegaard has to be Saka. And in the terms of the Arsenal rating, I think Ramsdale's the best, then Saka, then Tierney. So that's my top 3 Arsenal players. Ousmane Dembele and Alba sitting on the bench. Wow, yeah. Not even aware of it. I think the lineup must have come out as we're streaming, so thank you very much for that. And yeah, wow. Aubameyang, I want to see him starting and do well, but yeah, at the same time, he's already gone. Yeah, Manish, as I said before, I'd go for Salah. Up to you who you pick. Trent for triple captain with potential clean sheet. Yeah, I think he's a great option. I'd rather go for Salah, but Trent would be up there. Second or third best triple captaincy option so far this season. Spurs without Dyer look awful in defence. Arsenal surely in pole position for 4th. Yeah, that's true, and maybe that's why someone like White would be better than Davis. And that's funny, isn't it? The fact that someone like Dyer missing out has such a big impact on Spurs. Who would have thought that before Conte came in? I have 9 doublers, so should I bring in Workhorse, Cornet, me for a hit, and bench Cancelo? I don't think you need to, You could always bring Workhorse in for his double in 27. His double in 26 isn't particularly great. So I just start Cancelo, to be honest, Kupsi. Let me just check how far behind I am in the chat. I'm very far behind. I'm going to try whiz through these. So thank you very much for all the questions. Eduardo Malpai. Right now, looking at recent form, you have to say Malpai, but because of the double for Edouard and also the long-term fixtures beyond Game Week 28, I'd go for Edouard. But if you're looking at form, it has to be Malpai. I was at the game and looked serious. He couldn't even walk, really, so if it's dead leg or even worse, bleeding is his leg, could be out for a long time. Thank you very much for that, Garrison. Much appreciated. And yeah, maybe that's a reason why to hold off Workhorst and start Cancelo, for example. Yeah, Workhorst is going to be injured. Okay, we'll see how that happens and how that develops. Might be risky to bring in Workhorst now. Do we know anything about his injury? Yeah. So that's a good synopsis by Garrison. Obviously, I will trust that you are providing the right information. Obviously, thank you very much. Cornet and Workhorst instead of any from Tottenham. Yeah, but if Workhorst is serious, then we can't bring him in, unfortunately. Start Foster double game week or De Gea versus Leeds. Probably Foster, but yeah, wouldn't really back either of them to keep a clean sheet. What are your thoughts on doing Elise, Saka or Cornet, as Elise doesn't seem to be nailed? That's the thing with Crystal Palace, though. They're going to rotate occasionally. Elise is still one of the best options around his price. You're looking at, I think Ramsey's the best one, if you're looking for a very cheap midfielder. But yeah, that looks good. I think you're getting a double gimmick player there, but at the same time, a blank in 27, so be prepared for that. In Saka, Cornet has 2 doubles in a row, so maybe he'd be the better one, but I do prefer Saka over Cornet. Why not starting Dennis instead of Rafinha? Yeah, they do have better fixtures, but Dennis has just been so poor, and also, more importantly, Watford have been just shocking up front. But yeah, I am considering that as well. Rafinha against Man United, though, that's where I back him to get the points. Against Liverpool, maybe not so much. Spurs were so bad today, and with them playing City, I'm not sure any of them are worth it. Yeah, that's the thing. It's difficult, but either way, I need to find a way to fund that Salah move. So yeah, you might be right there. But either way, let's actually talk about this. So if I do bring in Son, that's a replacement for Damari Gray. I mean, I think that's a very good replacement, but you do make a good point there. Spurs are looking poor. Most teams in this league are looking pretty bad, to be honest. I'm on 42 with De Gea, Fernandes captain, and Ronaldo. What to do, Reguilon? I'd still keep him. He's got a double, but it depends on your starting 11 as well. I wouldn't bench Cancelo or Bowen for Reguilon, or even players like Dennis. Should I take out Foden? I still probably would, but it depends who you'd bring in. So just don't take him out for the sake of it. If you're bringing in someone good in midfield, then yes, I would take him out. Digne or Nuri double? I prefer Nuri right now, but if you're looking... Well, actually, I'd just prefer Nuri, yeah. And I originally was going to get Nuri, but I wanted Digne first because of the fixtures. But yeah, I just prefer Nuri. Just bear in mind, Digne is more nailed. Bruno for triple captaincy against Leeds? No, Salah for me. Double game week facing Leeds and Norwich. It has to be Salah all day long. And also that Leeds fixture is away for United, and look how bad they're playing. For me, no. Obviously, he could end up doing very well. Trust your gut. I'm just offering my opinion, but it has to be Salah. Trossard to Rafinha or Cornet? Cornet does have 2 doubles in a row. I'd still go for Rafinha, but not too sure there. You got subbed off very early in the last game as well. Confident in Son still? I'm not confident in most players right now. The only players I really am confident in is Salah, despite his other blank against Burnley. Who else? Trent, Cancelo. I'm confident in these players. It's very tough. Ramsdale, I'm confident in. Wow, this is tough. I'm trying to find trust in these players. It's hard. Have third Liverpool players, Robertson or Jota? Well, if you're in a position where you have neither, and you can get any one of them, I'd go for Robertson right now. But Jota's still good. Just bear in mind there's going to be rotation. Do you think I should free hit? I have 6 players with double game week. I don't think you need to, because with a free transfer you get 7, with a hit you get 8. If you have 2 free transfers, then with a hit you get up to 9. I probably wouldn't, and use the triple captaincy on Salah. But we're all different. You know, we could all have different strategies. You can play the free hit this week and make a success out of it. But I think if you have 6 already, you could easily get to 7 to 9, and that's fine. Didn't mean to rhyme there. You can go to Son in Game Week 27 for the Leeds game with Saka for the double, or do you plan to free hit in Game Week 27? Yeah, as I talked about earlier with my chip strategy, I'm looking to use my free hits in 30 and 33 if possible. I can get an 11 in 27 with these transfers that you see on screen, and I would just rather have Son in Game Week 26 anyway, but Saka's looking good as well, so I'm not discounting him. But yeah, you make a good point. If you get Saka and you get more Arsenal players, you can take advantage of Game Week 26 and also free hit in 27 and still look good. But for those on one free hit, I would consider and be very mindful of when you're using your free hit, you know, because after that, no more help. In Game Week 30, there's plenty of blanks, and 33, there could be more, and there's more doubles in the future as well. Yeah, Fernandes to Son for a -4 looks good. But yeah, both teams, you know, Spurs and United are looking poor recently. At least in the Premier League. You know, Spurs were looking good in the FA Cup, but yeah, in the last 2 Premier League games, very poor. Still, they are capable of scoring. Son is a great player. Fernandes has a single game against Leeds. He can still do very well, but I don't trust United, so I think it's worth it. Jimenez over Workhorse if he's injured. I'd consider him, but I'm still not too sure. And actually, let's go back to Jimenez here. So here we go. And let's go to the transfer section, actually. So let me get another tab open. Alright, so let's get this up here. So let's check his returns this season. Very, very inconsistent. So 5 goals and 3 assists, and just look how many blanks. I mean, in the last 4 games, he's got 2 returns, 2 goals, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. And in terms of bonus points or his ceiling, it's not that high, but obviously looked very good today. And even against Arsenal, he had a decent performance, but today against Spurs, he was right up for it. Leicester at home and Arsenal away are decent fixtures. Even West Ham away, from an offensive perspective, not too bad. And then some very good fixtures up until Game Week 32. You could even say beyond that, up to Game Week 34. But yeah, I don't know. I'd still be hesitant about him. I'd rather have Workhorse, but obviously if he's injured, then you don't really have another choice. So yeah, he's someone worth considering, but I'm still not too keen on him, if I'm being honest. So yeah, it's unfortunate. I wish there was more to choose from, but I have no confidence in any striker. Should I go for Saka and Tarkowski and have 10 men for Game Week 27 and bench Bowen or Cornet? Not fully fit, according to Daesh, for 26-27 doubles instead of Saka. I wouldn't bench Bowen at all, honestly. I'd start Bowen every time. Yeah, even if you have to bench someone like Dennis to start Bowen, I'd still do it. Would Gabriel be a better transfer than Tierney? Well, if you're looking at FPL points this season, Gabriel is at the very top, but then you have to consider Tierney has played fewer minutes, so very similar in terms of FPL points per minute. But yeah, Gabriel has more goal threat, but Tierney has better assist threat. I'd say both of them are quite similar from an offensive perspective. In terms of bonus points, though, that's also tough. Maybe Gabriel's a bit more likely. Gabriel might be the better one. You know, he's kind of overlooked because he's just a centre-back, but yeah, that's a really good one, actually. Triple captain Salah, Jota, Robertson or Trent, all of them are great, but I would go for Salah. Then it would be Trent maybe, then Jota. So if we're looking at my team here, I'd actually be more tempted to captain Trent, just because I'm not sure if Jota starts both games, but if he was going to start both, there was no Diaz or anything to worry about, then Jota would actually be my captain over Trent. But yeah, just to kind of sum it up quickly, Salah first, Trent second, probably Robertson third, then Jota fourth. But it's tough, you know, it's very tough. If you have Jota and you're looking to take a -4 for Robertson, that's where I'd still be a bit hesitant about it. Would you start Diaz or Rudiger over Rafinha? Good question. I would probably... that's a good question. I'd probably start Rafinha still, but if it was Cancelo, I'd go for him. Yeah, I'd be using the triple captaincy here, but it would be on Salah. Josh Fabian says, how serious is Workhorse injury? Well, apparently he was struggling to walk at the end of the game, so there is a possibility that he's going to be out for Game Week 26. We'll have to wait and see how this develops. They're going to have scans, they're going to have tests, they're going to obviously have more sessions to try fix him, but yeah, this could be an issue. It is unfortunate because I was looking to bring him in, and he's looking very good. You know, one of the few strikers that actually show some form. Bowen's trustworthy, exactly, yeah. So when we're talking about Salah, Bowen, I forgot about him. Cancelo, Trent, Ramsdale. Who else is there? I mean, Coutinho's looking very good, but I wouldn't say he's trustworthy just yet. Yeah, up front there's no one really. Right now, absolutely no one. Heung-min Son is kind of close to reliable, but Spurs are so on and off right now that I'd probably just avoid him in this discussion. So yeah, we're very limited in terms of reliable options this season. Right now, anyway. Jota triple captain, I don't think it's a bad idea, but I would maybe be a bit cautious or a bit doubtful of him starting both games. Well, only one free hit left. Should I keep it for game week 36? It ultimately depends though, because you could use it in a blank like game week 30 or 33, or another double game week instead. For the game week 36, I'd actually be more tempted to use the bench boost, but who knows, you might have used it already. Would you start Alonso or Soufal? I'd actually be more tempted to start Soufal, but yeah, let's check once again the fixtures. Chelsea facing Palace is pretty decent. I'd probably start Soufal, but yeah. Hudson-Odoi started in the final against Palmeiras in the Club World Cup final, and I think he got the assist for Lukaku's goal, so, you know, who knows at this point. But yeah, I think there is a possibility that Hudson-Odoi starts over Alonso. I'm happy I got rid of him, but I'm looking at getting Chelsea players back again in game week 28. So there we go. Thank God I'm going to get these United players out, and this team will look much better by the time the game week 26 deadline passes. Hopefully I haven't jinxed it there. Son and Saka for Trossard and Fernandes, or Kane and Saka for Fernandes and Antonio? Okay, I would probably go for... yeah, Son and Saka. I'd go for that for Trossard and Fernandes. Yeah. Is 6 double game week players enough considering a wildcarding due to not being happy with my team? I think 6 is fine, and you could get to 7 or 8 with a hit or 2. I'd probably just triple captain Salah. But don't do it out of fear of missing out. Just do it if you really back Salah to do well in both games, which most people do. And his effective ownership will be crazy, but I'm just going to triple captain him because I don't see too many opportunities like this in the future. Is Kane a good shout? Yes, he is still a good shout. You know, I talked about him being a buy in recent videos, and I still think he's great despite his last 2 games being blanks. But yeah, I still think he's a good buy or a good shout. He's not worth over 12 million, if we're being honest. But yeah, who's worth their money up front right now? Not many, if any. I need to stop with these rhymes. What to do with Gallagher, Martinelli? Do I hold? I also have a Maguire and Tony, who I want to drop. Well, Martinelli's only going to start 1 game at most in this double game week. Gallagher, I still like, but he's not as good of an option as he was before. It's tough, isn't it? I probably would... Gallagher's only got 1 game as well because he can't play against Chelsea. Maguire and Tony, I'd honestly get rid of very quickly. So I'm not sure how much money you have to, you know, make all these transfers, but Tony to Edouard looks good, or if not, Workhorse if he's fit, which is a big if right now. Maguire, you could move on to a Wolves defender like Cody. Martinelli, you could move on to Ramsey. If not, you could maybe go for Gordon. Elise is also another one, but just bear in mind there's rotation there. And for Gallagher, maybe Rafinha, but then again, you know, that double isn't that appealing, and you're looking at the rest. Maybe Coutinho if you can afford it. So that's kind of the options I would recommend for you, Chad. In terms of prioritizing transfers, I think Maguire is the main one you want to get rid of from those lot. Yeah. Bench boost or triple captain, bench Foster, Dennis, Soufal and Cancelo. It's a good bench, but I'd triple captain Salah. Thank you, Harry, for moderating the chat. Let's see. Okay, we're kind of getting close to the present, as I call it. Can I use wildcard and triple captain in the same game week? No. As Tibwa says, you can't. You can't use any set of chips at the same time. You can only use 1. So if you triple captain, you can't use anything else. You know, whether it's the bench boost, wildcard, free hit, whatever. You can't use 2. You can only use 1. In terms of the free hits, you can't use 1 in game week 26 and then 1 in 27. So if you use 1 in 26, be sure that your team in 27, you know, is looking pretty good as well. Best strikers for 26. Very difficult, isn't it? Who are the best strikers anyway? That's very difficult to answer as well. I probably would go for... Well, I would have said Workhorse. I'm not sure if he's available, but let's assume he is. And if not, we'll give another replacement. So Workhorse, Edouard, Harry Kane. And if Workhorse is unavailable, then I would look at maybe Dennis, or if not... I mean, Broja has a single game week, you could do all right. It's difficult, isn't it? Maybe Malpai against Burnley. Yeah, we're kind of depleted, aren't we? But I'm pretty sure about Kane and Edouard, even though Edouard as well. Is he going to start both games? And not that likely, maybe. Rodriguez of Burnley with Workhorse's injury. I mean, that could be a nice differential shout. Sometimes someone you completely, don't expect to do well ends up doing the business for you. That's a shout as well. That's a good shout. I'll be honest though, with Burnley, I'm not a big fan of them, and especially offensively. But Workhorse, the form you're showing, I was very intrigued by getting him in for Game Week 26. But now I've got to be mindful. It's very difficult because I might be priced out of making these moves. So if Workhorse actually ends up being fit, it could always backfire no matter what I do. So it's a difficult situation right now. Greater Rafinha or Cornet? I still prefer Rafinha, but he hasn't really been looking too good recently. When is it useful to use a play wildcard button for transfers? Well, it's basically just the wildcard chip. In terms of when it's useful, it's a team-dependent question. It might be useful for you now. In most cases, I think it'll be useful between Game Weeks 31 and 35 because you have a wildcard team that's good for the rest of the season. You can navigate any blanks like 33, if that's a blank game week, with a free hit. And you can also build a team with enough squad depth to bench boost. And you could actually, in theory, have between 11 and 15 players with a double game week in 36 and play the bench boost and maybe get a very good score. So I'd say maybe between Game Week 31 and 35. FPL's a mess right now. Can totally see Salah being benched for one of the two games. Yeah, that's a good point, because imagine if he starts both games, you think the possibilities are endless. And right now, the way FPL's going, yeah, Salah could be benched. And it does make sense because of the Champions League and the Carabao Cup final, but we really don't want that happening, do we? Are Spurs options even worth it for the double game week with how poor they've been? Was planning on Ronaldo to Kane for a -4, but I don't know now. But then look how bad United have been. So you're not really getting rid of a high flyer. It's not like you're getting rid of Salah for Kane or Son. I do agree though. I think Spurs are looking poor, but they did show their quality in the FA Cup and they can be very good under Conte. They have shown some very good performances, but no team is reliable right now. We can tell by the kind of gap between the top two, City and Liverpool, and the rest of the league. And right now, if you look at the battle for fourth, it seems like no one wants it. West Ham are dropping points from time to time. Spurs as well recently. United can't get a win to save themselves. Arsenal, that's their first win in 2022, so it's very difficult, but I completely agree. No one seems worth it right now. Should I get Bowen, Coutinho, Ward-Prowse? Shepard, I answered this question. I would go for Bowen. I'd go for Bowen. Am I getting any better chance at bench boost though with -4 full 11 double game week players and bench De Gea, Bowen? Well, if you have Bowen on your bench, then yeah, I would be tempted by it. But then again, are you going to get many better opportunities with Salah triple captaincy? Maybe not, but because you have Bowen and Cancelo on your bench, I think that looks like a good bench boost team. It looks very good. I wouldn't want to bench either of them this week, and I'm happy to start them. Tierney or Saka for a -8 already in Laka and Salah? It depends who you get rid of, Stenny. I'm not sure what the outgoing is, so let me know and I'll give you a better answer. I'll be honest, it's obviously just my opinion. I'm not a big fan of Lacazette in FPL. I got him in around game week, was it 19 or something? He did very well for me in a 2-game week period, but he's very inconsistent, a very bad finisher as well. So obviously, hopefully he does well for you, but no guarantees. I like the Salah move, of course. Yeah, in terms of playing the wildcard before Game Week 26, depends on your team. I already answered this question in terms of when you should play it, but I probably would look to use it later on, but it depends on your team. If Workhorse is injured, who should I get for Antonio? Edouard, I'd say. But then if you have Edouard, maybe looking at Broja, Malpai, maybe Dennis, but there's just not that many to choose from. Salah going to play both games? It's not a guarantee, I'll be honest. It's not a guarantee, but I still think he'll play both, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Taking out Rafinha in order to bring in Son and Salah, probably bringing in Elise or Odegaard short term. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I actually like those moves. Rafinha could still do alright against United, but I can understand why you're doing it. In terms of Elise or Odegaard, I do prefer Elise, but yeah, not bad shouts. Should I wildcard and get all the players double game weeks, Kane, etc.? I don't think so. If you already have 6 players that have a double, I think that's enough. If you get to 7 to 9, I think that's more than enough. And you can also triple captain or even bench boost as well if your team's looking very good. So yeah, in terms of right now, most people will look at their teams and their points and think, you know what, I'm not happy with it, but it's difficult to choose reliable players because on a wildcard, I know for sure Ramsdale would be in it, Trent, Cancelo, Bowen, Salah. Maybe one or two more that I'm forgetting, Robertson potentially, but the rest, I literally have no idea. Laporte could be another one, but there's not enough reliable options in FPL right now. Maddison on Watkins or Digne on the bench. Oof, okay. Maybe I would say Maddison. So looking at the fixtures once again, yeah, I would be tempted to say Maddison actually, but then again, Digne has not been that good as well, and even Watkins as well. Yeah, all of them have been pretty poor. Okay, so how far are we? So, wow. Yeah, Mount injury update. Yeah, it looks like he picked up a knock during the Club World Cup, and he is flagged currently in FPL. So the only thing we can really do is monitor the situation. The same goes for Workhorse, which could be more serious than I anticipated originally, but I didn't even see the injury myself, so I was in no position to judge. Chelsea double up defence from 28 onwards. Yeah, that's a shout. I wouldn't triple up. I definitely wouldn't do that, even on City, but a double up looks good. One is enough as well, whether it's Rudiger, Reece James when he comes back, Alonso maybe, but I'd mainly look at Rudiger right now. And yeah, it's a shame that Chilwell isn't available, isn't he? My wildcard this week still got 2 free hits. Fair enough, yeah. The thing that is good really about the amount of postponements that there have been is that it does open up the chip strategies a little bit more, and there's not one way of playing the game, so that's a good thing. Play Eric Dyer over Watkins. Because he has a double, yes, but then I'm not sure if Dyer will be available for those games. If Dyer's back from injury, yeah, due to Watkins' poor form. Yeah, no, and it's just one game for Watkins, even though the fixture is good. Have 2 Liverpool players and no Arsenal. Should I free hit? I don't think so because, well, it's tough. If you have 6, 7 plus double game week players, I don't think you need to free hit. You don't necessarily need Arsenal players, in my opinion. 2 Liverpool players is fine as well, especially if one of them is Salah. Bruno, Salah, Ramsey, Coutinho, Foden. Yeah, true. All playing every week. Should I keep playing them or transfer one of them for striker? But which striker? I mean, we talked about the names multiple times in the stream and none of them looked that enticing. I like all of those that you mentioned. The only thing I would say is that you could do Bruno to Son and get a double game week player, and I do prefer Son long term than Bruno. The rest look fine. I would actually not be, I wouldn't actually be, let's say, distressed or kind of cautious about starting Ramsey even. He looks very good right now. I have Edouard and Dennis. Should I start King or Cucurella? Watford double game week, but team's performance are so poor, yeah. So maybe Cucurella better? Right now, you'd have to say so. King, I've never been a fan of. But yeah, even Dennis is looking bad. Watford are looking horrible. So yeah, I think right now you have to say Cucurella, but then the ceiling is higher with King because of that double. Even one penalty can change it. He was unlucky not to get a penalty. I think it was against Burnley. And if he had scored then a lot of people would be a bit more different in terms of their outlook on King and Watford. But yeah, I think a penalty could change that. So bear in mind, anything can happen in that double game week. Best midfielder under 7.5 million other than Bowen and Coutinho? Great question. I'd be tempted to say Ramsey right now. Ramsey, trying to think of other names. Yeah, not many kind of stick out. Maybe Saka. Saka looks good in terms of his performances. Maybe not FPL-wise. Jimenez, yeah, he's one to keep an eye on. If we're looking at my team, so let's go back to... Yeah, let's go to this. So this is my plans right now. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to afford Jimenez instead of Workhorse. That is a problem. I would have actually been pretty settled on these sets of transfers, but Workhorse picked up an injury today. Let's see how serious it is. But yeah, I think Jimenez is worth considering, but been very inconsistent this season, just like all the strikers. Bench one of Maupay, Cancelo, Bowen. Has to be Maupay. As much as he's been very good recently, Cancelo and Bowen I would not bench in a million years. KDB to Son, yeah. Son and Spurs have been a bit shaky, but Son is still very good, so I think it's good. Play Reguilon or Cancelo? I would rather start Cancelo. Yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I'd still go for him. Lacazette, a shout for a double game week. We'll get him in place of... Look, he might be a shout, actually. It's just I don't trust him enough, and this is coming from someone who brought him in. He got me like 16 points in 2 games, but I think he's heavily relying on penalties to get a haul. Is it even worth transferring Jota out for Salah? I have triple Liverpool. I think so, because even though maybe Jota gets both games and Salah gets benched in one, that could happen. if we're looking up until the end of the season, Salah is going to start the vast majority, if not all games, when he's available. With Liverpool still, they've got a little chance of winning the title. They'd be 6 points behind City if they win their games in hand. So I think it's worth it. I think Salah's a far better player and asset than Jota. Have 2 Liverpool players and no Arsenal? Yeah, I don't think you need to free hit RN, as I said before. Are you still going to show your plans for this game week, or did I miss it? They're already on screen, so I might have to change the Weghorst one. I'm not sure who I'd bring in, because there's not really another double game week striker. I need to downgrade Ronaldo in order to facilitate these moves. So maybe I'd have to go for a Maupai. Just go for the informed player. Forget about the double game week. If I want to get Son in for Gray. So yeah, it's between this and also this. So Kane, Salah and Cody could come in for my team. So yeah, there's quite a lot to think about here. Foden to Son for a hit. Yeah, I think so. Look, Spurs have been poor. I'd still go for it. Weghorst and Cornet look really good today. What happened with Reguilon? Yeah, Martin, great point, but unfortunately Weghorst could be a doubt, even Cornet. What happened with Reguilon? He's just not entirely nailed under Conte, but Sessegnon got hauled off very early, or taken off, not hauled off. And yeah, I think they put on Kulusevski on. They tried to change the game. I was watching that game. It was pretty interesting to see. And yeah, in terms of Reguilon, I still expect him to start at least one of the games in 26, but I'm not sure if he'll start both. Thank you, Chad. Jimenez, yeah, a lot of people mentioning Jimenez right now, but then if he didn't score today against Spurs, would people be mentioning him? That's just my point. Obviously, you may have mentioned him anyway. Yep, Lag, I agree. He should be considered. I'm still a bit apprehensive though, but maybe it's the one to go for. Cancelo or White with a -4? Despite the double for Arsenal, I'd go for Cancelo. Yeah, I'd go for Cancelo all day long. Just long term, it's the best option. White has a blank in 27 as well. I know Reguilon got benched, but Sessegnon came off injured. Yeah, exactly, Martin. Yeah. And Reguilon still didn't come on. Terrible management by Conte. I think he just tried to change systems because they were 2-0 down already by that point, and he wanted to be more offensive. So that's why Reguilon didn't come on. Apparently Reguilon and Conte don't really see eye to eye, and I wouldn't be too surprised, judging by Reguilon's minutes recently. Foster or De Gea next game week, or is it Forster? I'd still go for De Gea. If it's Foster, which I'm guessing it might be, it makes more sense, then yeah, I'd go for Foster, just for the double. Evening, Mark, thank you for tuning in. Thiago Silva, yeah, maybe one to consider in 28. Bench Watkins or Bowen? Watkins. I'd start Bowen all day long, Martin. Another Martin, by the way. Start one, Cancelo, Diaz, Ramsey, Gallagher. This might seem controversial. I'd start Cancelo. Bear in mind, Gallagher doesn't have a double. He doesn't play against Chelsea. Ramsey's a great player. I don't want to bench him, but I'd start Cancelo. So if I had to order it, it'd be Cancelo first, Ramsey second, or Gallagher second. It's up to you. And then lastly, it'll be Diaz. If we could get a slightest hint of Salah being benched and Nigel, a bench boost could be huge. Yeah, if you have a bench that looks pretty good. I mean, if we're looking at mine, it's not that great. I mean, it's not the worst. Oh, by the way, once again, why is Ramsdale on the bench? Yeah, De Gea, Dennis, Livramento, Gray, that would be fine, but then Gray is, I think he's, he'd be injured still, potentially. He might be back, and then if we look at this bench, yeah, I mean, it's nothing special. But if you have a better looking bench than I do, then yeah, you make a good point. Bench boost might actually be the way to go. Start Watkins or Sissoko. I'd go for Watkins there. Cancelo or White to start. Good question. I'd still maybe go for Cancelo. I know it sounds weird. Forwards in FPL's been so poor this season, yeah. And if we actually talk about the beginning of the season, we're all talking about, wow, we've got Ronaldo, Lukaku, Kane. How do we fit all of these in? Well, you don't fit any of them in. That's the correct answer. I have Rafinha, King, Edouard. Who should I get rid of? Honestly, right now, I'd say King. Yeah. I feel like we need a wildcard for the Wolves and Chelsea swing. Yeah, Game Week 28 is a good Game Week to wildcard. Also, get off the United players. I'm getting rid of them this week, so it doesn't really matter. But for some people, they might get rid of them then. I have Salah for the coming Game Week, but I have De Gea, Dalot, Broja, Bowen on the bench. Triple or bench boost? Great question. I would be tempted by the bench boost because you have Bowen on your bench. So that's a 50-50 one. If you back Salah to start both games, then I'd put the triple captaincy on him. Try to find a way to get Bowen in that starting 11 though, trust me. Broja and Dalot, I'm not really a big fan of anyway, but Bowen and De Gea could be pretty good on a bench boost. Lars Eric. Fernandes and Gray for Salah and Ramsey, or Gray and Ronaldo for Salah and Broja? Great question. I'd go for Salah and Ramsey, but Broja's great as well. And either way, Ronaldo I'd get rid of, whether it's now or later on. Yeah, I'd start Cancelo R7. I'd start Cancelo. Force on Gordon. I think look, I still prefer Ramsey, but around that price, 4.6, 4.7 million, I think Gordon's probably the second best. He's been pretty good recently, kind of a shining light in a poor season for Everton. But yeah, I still prefer Ramsey. Welcome, Aranya. Thank you for tuning in. How many hits worth it for double gaming players? Maybe a -4, -8. In some cases, maybe a -12, but I wouldn't go overboard with it. Don't take hits for the sake of it. Force on Tony. Fixtures appealing. Yeah, should be back as well, but with Tony and Brentford, I don't trust them enough. I think Mbumo or Tony would be good options in Game Week 30 when they have that blank game week against Leicester, I think it is. That's when I'd consider him, but yeah, other than that, I don't really want any Brentford players right now. Bruno to Son and Martinelli to who? Or should I hold Martinelli? I'd probably sell Martinelli because he only has one game in 26. He's still suspended. Obviously, Arsenal didn't play in 25, so it carries over. I would get rid of Martinelli for Ramsey, maybe for Gordon. If you can afford someone a bit more expensive, you could go for Rafinha or Coutinho as well. So yeah, Cornet if he's fit and available, everything's good. I had Dawson on the bench. That is tough to take. And is it Lager, by the way? Maybe it's the Portuguese saying. I'm not sure. It seems like every stream I'm kind of struggling with your name, so maybe that's just my fault. I have Bowen, Salah, Saka. Which other midfielder should I bring in for Game Week 26 for 8.7 million? Great question. 8.7 million. I would say maybe Jota, but then would you bring him in? I'd rather get Robertson at this point, and I would expect some rotation for Jota. Could even happen in 26. I'd have to get back to you on that one. Maybe Rafinha, maybe Coutinho, just for a player who plays in a Villa team with plenty of good game weeks or fixtures, should I say, and also doubles in the future. But you're not getting doubles right now, so yeah, I'd probably go for one of those. Saka versus Son. Who's likely to score more? Score more goals? I think Son. More points? That's a bit more difficult, but I'd still maybe say Son. Saka though, the fixtures look better. Foden and Ronaldo out for Salah and Edouard. Brozier for a -4. Yeah, that looks good. I would go for Edouard, but Brozier looks good as well. Would Ramsdale be your starter? Oh, definitely. Yeah, no. Yeah, ignore that. I don't know why De Gea was on the bench there. I think it was just automatic. Trippier just got lucky. Well, it just shows his quality from set pieces. And he can even get assists from corners and free kicks, when they're from a bit further out. But yeah, obviously for Trippier to get 2 returns in a row, yeah, maybe a bit lucky, but still, anyone who hasn't fair play. I never would have even thought of getting a Newcastle player, or should I say defender. And there you go. Now, sometimes you've got to take these risks. Jota or Robertson? I'd go for Robertson, but I still like Jota. I thought Sessegnon wasn't injured. It was a very early tactical change. Exactly. It was they changed the system. Kulusevski came on and they tried to be more offensive. Davis double or Antonio? I'd go for Davis there, but that's only because Antonio looks really poor right now. Let's try to skim through these as well. So, bench Cancelo or Cody? Oh my god, that's a great question. I'd probably bench Cody. I'm showing a lot of love to Cancelo, but yeah. Could you justify triple captaining Trent or Robertson over Salah? I think you could, because one, it's a differential, and Trent could keep up, and even Robertson, they could keep up with Salah in this double. Salah might be a bit more likely to be benched in 26 than the other two. Especially Trent, because who would come in for him in 26? I don't really see a like-for-like replacement. Yeah, thank you, Harvey. After 28 minutes of Reguilon came in for Sessegnon, I would have had 3 playing defenders and a clean sheet to Conte. Shit, I was really... Wow. Yeah, that's unlucky because you could have had a little bit of luck there. That is pretty unlucky, isn't it? But yeah, they had to change system. That's pretty much it. And Reguilon and Conte don't seem to get on. Obviously, we don't know what's happening there. I have Bowen, Saka. Yeah, as I said before, I think it's Peshang. I'd probably go for Rafinha or Coutinho, just kind of ignoring the double game week, unless you want to go for Jota, if you want. Got a boostable bench for the first time, and of course can't triple captain Salah. Life's never easy here. That's kind of the ethos of FPL. That's pretty much it. So that's a great way of summarising it. My situation, I'm a bit luckier, I guess, because I'm not that keen on bench boosting this week. So triple captain Salah, that's it. But it could actually turn out to be a curse. Salah could be benched in one of them. He might even blank. Who knows? Southampton will have an easy run. Yeah, till Game Week 32. Brozier, Ward-Prowse. That's a good point. Yeah, that's 2 players worth highlighting. Yeah, even maybe one of their defenders, but I'd rather go for their attackers. So Brozier and Ward-Prowse, even Che Adams, scoring in back-to-back games. Are you definitely triple captaining Salah? Obviously, it depends if an injury happens or something like that, but more likely than not, yeah. So I'd guess 90% likely. Son is more expensive, yeah. Yeah, he is, but I do prefer Son. I'm guessing you're talking about the last midfielder for Pishang. But yeah, there's not many to choose from, I guess. Let me just deal with this weird message that I keep on seeing. I don't know if it's a code or something. Maybe an assassination attempt. Let's see. So for 26, Antonio Rafinha, I'd go for Rafinha, even though both are off form. I regret transferring out Gray for Fernandes. Seriously, could have had 3 extra fixtures later down the line and could have done clown Trossard for Salah straight. Look, I also got rid of Foden for Bruno this week. If Bruno blanks, then in the end I made the wrong decision, but you got to trust the decision-making process rather than the outcome sometimes, and it makes sense why you did it. Just try to have an easy route for Salah, and you should be fine anyway, Bivek. And thank you to everyone for tuning in still. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here. So much appreciate everyone who's tuning in. So if you are tuning in just now, I got 40 points in game week 25, and I went down to around 163k. I would have an extra point coming off the bench with Dennis. So I'm around 171k after everything is done. But we've still got Bruno as my captain. I've got Ronaldo. And I've also got, let's actually go back to the FPL Game Week 25 screen. I've also got Cucurella. Let's wait and see what else is in store. And yeah, there we go. So let's actually go back to Game Week 25. Yeah, 25. They all seem like the same right now. So let's see if Bowen's points have been added. The bonus points, yeah, they have. So here we go. 25. That's the kind of report in full, pending that last game between United and Brighton. Alright, so let's get back to the chat and see what you lot are saying. Triple Salah, that's where I'm going, but there is the possibility that he is benched. Why Wolves defenders? Game week 26-28 is hard to get a clean sheet. True, a good point, but as I said in my deadline stream as well, I could see Wolves getting clean sheets in some of these games, and they already got one against Spurs. I think they could keep one against Arsenal. I know they just lost to them in game week 24, and Leicester as well. They're not looking that great, if we're being honest, but yeah, I can see what you mean, but fixtures aren't everything, if FPL is just about fixtures, then we just get the players who have green fixtures and that's it. There's nothing else to think about. So as much as I can understand what you're saying, I still think Wolves defenders are just great options. And also you have to look beyond game week 28 where they've got some pretty good fixtures there. As a Liverpool fan, I have to say Salah starts both games. He played 120 minutes 5 times in a row and still could have scored twice against Leicester. I agree. I think he will start both, but there is the odd possibility he is. But I agree with you, Martin. Livramento needs to start next game so I can feel safe. He starts in the blank one. Yeah, good point, Amir. And also, it would kind of it would be nice for him to start because Southampton have some good fixtures soon. I have KDB and Rashford. Must I sell them for Salah and Son? You don't have to. Well, I think the Salah move, yes, but you don't have to get the others in Son and Rafinha. But I would get Salah and Son. Got 10 double game week players, says DNNN. If -4 Trossard out Rafinha, should I then bench boost rather than triple captain? You're in a good position there, and I can see why you'd think about it. Plus, Bowen, Cucurella, Trossard, Cancelo and Pickford, and if you move Trossard to Rafinha from -4, yeah, in that case, I would actually bench boost that team. Pickford, I'm not that sure about, even though he just kept a clean sheet, but the rest, it looks like a solid bench, especially if you bring in Rafinha. So yeah, I'd be tempted to bench boost for you. Salah triple captain 100%, 90% as I said. I'm still, considering other possibilities, but in all likelihood, it will be that. I'm going to dead end into 29, then wildcard in 31. Fair enough, yeah. Or even into 30, you could say, because you're going to get some players maybe for game week 30. You might as well, since you're going to wildcard the week after. So yeah, that makes sense, Rennie. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. There's different ways to play it. You can wildcard in 28 and get ahead of these fixture swings with Wolves, with Chelsea, also United having a bad run of games. And also, looking in game week 31, you can wildcard out of, some players you bring in for game week 30, save the free hit for 33, or maybe you've already used in 27. So I think there's different ways to skin the cat. Obviously, that's kind of a weird saying, and maybe I shouldn't be mentioning cats after everything that's going on. But yeah, I think it's a good idea. Would you take out Reguilon? Still the same as before, where I talked about holding him in my last transfer tips video. I still think he's worth holding, but yeah, his appeal is definitely drastically reduced from before. I've got all of King, Dennis and Foden from Watford in Game Week 26. With a -8, I'll have Kane, Salah, Jota, Trent, Cancelo, Eric Peters, Bowen, Coutinho. Is this good, or is a chip necessary to get better players? I don't think a chip is necessary, and a -8 is fine, Aranya. I don't think you need to. Welcome to ML Ogisho. I probably butchered that, but thank you very much for tuning in. Start Soufal or Laporte? Laporte. Actually, well, let me hold up a little second. If it was Cancelo, I wouldn't even think about it. Laporte, Soufal, a bit tough. That's tough, actually. 50-50. City have a much better defence than West Ham, but the fixture, much better for West Ham there. I probably would... I guess I'd start Soufal. But yeah, if it was Cancelo, I wouldn't even think about it. Game Week 26 is the best time to use the free hit, squad dependent for 36, too late in the season. In terms of the free hit, I think 30 or 33. Because in Game Week 30, we have 4 games that are going to be played as things stand. It could be maybe 5 or 6, depending on the FA Cup. And Game Week 33 could be another blank. And also, you could use it in a double game week, another one. It's a good time to use it, maybe, if you're in a position where you don't have that many double game week players, you're not looking to triple captain Salah, or you don't have the bench to bench boost. So it's a good idea, it's a good opportunity, but I still think there's other chances. And if you haven't used your bench boost, I would look at Game Week 36 if that turns out to be the biggest double game week of the season, which it could be. I have Tierney and Ramsdale. Must I keep them? I don't think you must, but I would keep Ramsdale. Tierney, he's got a double in 26, but you could get rid of him in 27 and avoid using the free hit. So hopefully you got that. Can I double Saka and Odegaard in Game Week 26? You can, but if I'm being honest, I would just go for one. So Saka's enough. And also you have to think about Game Week 27 where Arsenal blank. If you've got triple Liverpool and 2 Arsenal players, you're going to be down by 5 players and you're going to have a few absentees in your starting 11. Replace Jota for Son? Good question. I probably wouldn't. I'd find another way to get Son, but Jota might actually miss out one of the games and that transfer makes sense. Bench 1, Coutinho, Bowen, Watkins. Right now, I'd probably bench Watkins. Yep, Donacha. Thoughts for the wildcard? Very similar to before. If you want, I can produce a wildcard team on screen. And maybe I could also dedicate a video to it, talking about it in detail. But there's going to be a few alterations because we're not sure if Workhorse is going to be available or not. And that is going to be a big factor in deciding whether he's in the team or not. Have you got Salah in already? No, I don't. But good point, Daniel. And I mentioned it before. I probably will get him in today. So yeah. Surely those Salah videos are fake. I'm not sure what you're on about, Alan. Obviously, if anyone does know about these Salah videos, let me know. Should I take a risk on Workhorse? I need to do 2 transfers. I probably wouldn't. If you're in a position where you're not going to be priced out from making your moves, then just wait it out and you're not really going to be affected by it. But if you're going to be priced out like me, then I can see why you're asking it and you might need to make the transfers today. Saka, Elise or Cornet for Game Week 26? Saka, but just bear in mind in 27 he does blank, but I would probably say that. Why is the possibility that Salah's benched? Just because there's a Champions League in between the games, and also there's the Carabao Cup final, I think 3 days after that Leeds game, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, 1 second. Alright, so let's go back to your questions. This week I captained KDB and started Cancelo and Ronaldo played terribly. That's FPL for you sometimes, but you could also get the Rob of the Green, maybe in Game Week 26, so that's kind of the hope. I took the punt to take out KDB this week, guessing the rest. Just a reminder to try and tune out the noise if it means going with your gut. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, with KDB, I'll be honest, I was a bit torn. Because people were asking naturally, do you think KDB will be benched? And I said yes, but I can't tell you for sure. So I'm not going to claim to be right because I was unsure myself and it's all guesswork really. Are you planning on reviewing teams again next week? Potentially. Potentially. We did one recently as well. I kind of try to do it every 5 game weeks or so. But that's a possibility and if I have the time, I'll definitely do it. Yeah. There's also the Champions League as well, though. There will be a UCL Fantasy deadline stream if any of you play that on Tuesday. So stay tuned, and there could be a team selection out tomorrow. There's been a few changes, but a lot of it has stayed the same. What to do with Ronaldo? I'd probably sell him, but then I don't want to sound like as a broken tape or broken record. Which strikers are giving us points, really, on a consistent basis? Not many. Which striker to swap out for Ronaldo? I would say Workhorse, but he is an injured out, so you could consider Edouard potentially. I can't really back any of these right now. Should I get Martinelli in for Ali and do Dennis for Workhorse? Or I'm guessing it's Martinelli to Ali. honestly, I wouldn't. Dennis for Workhorse, yes, but don't do it yet. Workhorse might be injured. He was limping very badly towards the end of the game. I'm going to see what happened there myself. Do you think Aït-Nouri will play both games? I think Wolves are a better team with Aït-Nouri in it, so I think he will, but that doesn't mean Aït-Nouri won't be benched, whether it's in Game Week 26 or in 27. He could still be benched in one of those 3 games, so just bear that in mind when you bring him in. If you want someone nailed, just save yourself the trouble and get Cody or Kilman, who's, Kilman's only 0.1 or 0.2 million more, and Cody is 4.7 million, so that's fine. I think it's more likely Robertson gets rotated. Yeah, that's true, because Tsimikas could come in. That's a great point. But in terms of Trent, there's not really anyone to come in. But great point about Robertson. Tsimikas, he's been very good. Whenever he comes in for Liverpool, fantastic performances. So that's a great point. So this is Mixture's team. Bench boost or triple captain. So on the bench, you've got Dubravka, Workhorse, Cancelo, Ramsey. The thing is, Workhorse might not even play. He might be injured anyway. Cancelo and Ramsey could do very well there. Dubravka, I'm still not too sure about, but I probably would triple captain Salah. That's what I would do. So KDB to Salah if you have enough money and triple captain him. But, it's not a bad idea to bench boost. Crossman. Let's see, what else have we missed? Okay, so we're kind of catching up, obviously. So try to be patient. We'll get through these. Obviously, thank you very much for everyone for the comments and everything like that. Much appreciated. Worth bench boost with De Gea, McAllister, Soufal and Laporte. Going to transfer Saka for McAllister or Tierney for Soufal. I think it's a good bench boost. It's not a bad one. But I would still rather triple captain Salah. Yeah. Dylan, thoughts on this 11 for next game week? Ramsdale, Trent, Robertson, Cancelo, Aït-Nouri, Bowen, Ramsey, Rafinha, Salah, triple captain, Son, Edouard, but I have Watkins on the bench. I wouldn't be that fussed about benching Watkins right now. I think that's a good 11. I don't really think I'd bench anyone for Watkins, so you know what? You've made the right decision there. I'd even start Cancelo over him like you did. Yeah, I think that's fine. And Salah triple captain looks very good. 45, but took a -4 to get in Laporte, Ronnie and Broja, which didn't even get a return. Laporte didn't even play. Yeah, that is a bit of a shame. Sometimes it's all about timing. With City players, I was very... insistent in terms of, this might not be the week to bring them in, but who knows, Laporte could have played and got a haul. He could have scored himself, so you never know. Must I sell Reguilon? I don't think you must sell him, but he's not someone I'd want maybe long term, if he's going to be in and out of the team like that. The previous website I was on was fpl.team. I've also used livefpl.net at the beginning of this stream, and also FPL Statistics, which is where I showed the price rises, and it indicates that Salah will probably go up in price today. Wouldn't Jay Rodriguez be a good option now? Potentially, but I'll be honest, Workhorse was the one I was looking at because he was showing the form and some very good performances. But yeah, Rodriguez even scored against United. So yeah, he's someone to look at for sure. I'm not sure if Workhorse will be back for 27 anyway, and that could then make Rodriguez redundant, but that's a good point. Just check bonus points. Robertson was neck and neck, 30-30 and locked 2. Fabinho got 31 bonus points now. Yeah, sometimes there's like a few alterations to the bonus points, and then someone that you have that has 3 bonus points goes down to 2 or 1, or out of the bonus points entirely. These things can happen. King, Watkins, Edouard, my front 3. Any changes you recommend? Maybe King out. Well, I would say for Workhorse, but just keep your eye on that one. If Workhorse is available, get him in for King. Otherwise, I probably would just keep things as they are and maybe get Broja very soon. Hopefully you got that. Your transfer plans, I showed them very recently. I'm looking to get Salah back in for Bruno Fernandes, and in order to do that, I need to fund the move by doing Ronaldo down to possibly Harry Kane, if not Workhorse or another striker. And the other move would be either Gray to Son, or it would be Cody in for Cucurella. So I'm actually going to put a poll out, but then I don't even know what the other striker would be instead of Workhorse. That's the thing. Wait, what? 18 plus picks that's circulating supposedly of Salah? What the? I have no idea of that. That is crazy. Oh my God. What is it with these footballers nowadays? It might not even be him though. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Innocent until proven guilty. Not like that. Affect his playing time or FPL. Yeah, you never know though. Who knows? Which goalkeeper to bring in to replace De Gea? Ramsdale, Jose Sarr or Robert Sanchez. And I'd be more inclined to go for Jose Sarr or Ramsdale. I think they're the 2 best goalkeepers in the game. How many hits would you recommend? -4, -8, -12 at max. I wouldn't go -16 or anything. -12 is the absolute most, and even then I'd be a bit cautious. So I can't play triple captain on Salah now. No, you can. whether he does some weird things, off the pitch, that's up to him. I still don't think it will affect him, like Harry said. Wow, Jesus, I actually wasn't aware of that, so thank you for bringing it to my attention. I'm definitely not checking that out, though. I'm not interested. How many hits would you recommend? Yeah, same thing, Jacob, same thing. Some supposed exposing video going from Salah going around. I believe it's fake, not sure, though. At this rate, who knows? Just let's wait and see what happens. I'm ready to triple up on Liverpool with Trent, Robertson and Salah. Is it worth bringing in Mahrez for Game Week 26? The thing is, will Mahrez definitely start? I'm not sure, but when he does, he tends to get really high points. I think in the last 4 appearances, he's got like 9 points and then 3 double-digit returns. So Mahrez is an exceptional player. I can see why you're looking to bring him in, but I don't know. If you're not really that infused by the other options I recommended, and I don't blame you, then yeah, go for Mahrez. But just bear in mind, he might not even start in 26. And City have so many games to play. Are most people going to transfer Salah in today? So it does make sense to just do it tonight. Yeah, the problem I have, though, is that one of my transfer plans involved getting Workhorse in, and we don't know if he's going to be available or not. Saka plus Jimenez versus Son plus Broja. I honestly prefer Son and Broja long term. I'd go for that. When you play a free hit, you must always sacrifice a free transfer, right? So basically, if you use a free transfer, whether it's before, well, it doesn't really matter if you do it after, when you play a free hit, that's your team. But if you play a transfer after, oh, Jesus, let me compose myself. If you play a transfer before activating your free hit, then it will be cancelled. The same goes for a wildcard. It will be cancelled. But either way, on a wildcard, it would be a permanent move anyway, so it doesn't matter. But then when you go into the next week, you will have 1 free transfer, whether you play your free hit or your wildcard. So hopefully that makes sense. Didn't mean to confuse you, even though I was a bit confusing at the beginning. Jaskin, I just mentioned my transfer plans. So I'll show them once again just to make it easier to follow. Just check my team. I have Region from Game Week 11. Maybe had him in the pitch for 3 returns. Why am I so loyal? The thing is, Region has been one of the best, well, one of the most offensive fullbacks since Conte has come in. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, he was pretty promising for the first 5-6 game weeks. But yeah, he's been pretty poor ever since. Welcome, Jack. Yeah, doing pretty well. What about you? How is Trent triple captain looking? It's looking good, but I do prefer Salah. In terms of the Liverpool players, I would rank Trent second behind Mohamed Salah, despite the supposed whatever going around. Is Rafinha a must-sell? I don't think it's a must-sell, and especially for Saka, who has a blank in 27. But Rafinha has been poor recently, and he got hooked off early. Maybe another injury doubt, who knows? Yeah, probably Dylan. Another Dylan, good to see. Yeah, I'm probably going to triple captain Salah. Yep. Let's just put my... So this is my Game Week 25 team, so we've already seen the points enough. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. This is my team right now without making any transfers, and I will now show you FPL.team. Check it out. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but it's just a really good free-to-use site. So let's bring this up right now. And I was looking to do this, but I need another strike instead of Workhorse potentially. So this is something to think about. I don't want to get rid of Bowen, Jota or Rafinha right now for Son, although not a bad idea, I guess, in terms of Jota, Rafinha out for Son. So yeah, the transfers here, what you see here, would be Salah in for Bruno, Workhorse in for Ronaldo, and Son in for Demarai Gray. So it looks pretty good for a -8 hit, because I only have 1 free transfer. I would bench Dennis. If not, it would be Rafinha, perhaps. And I would triple captain Salah. So that is one set of options. The alternative would be to keep Gray. He'd be on my bench. I would then bring in Cody or another Wolves defender in for Cucurella and Harry Kane instead of Workhorse. So I've got to decide there. Because of the Workhorse injury, maybe it makes sense to just get Kane in, but I don't know. Spending over 12 million on what I just saw there from Spurs and Kane, it does put me off, but I still think Kane is a good purchase. It's just not worth that much money, that's all. I don't know. There's no need to spam the chat, right? Chill. Is it worth taking hits for double gaming? Yes, I think it is worth it, but don't go overboard, because sometimes the single gaming players, so someone like Bowen or Cancelo, can outscore all of these players you bring in. Good evening, Dylan. And chat, thoughts on bringing in Sterling? Well, obviously a really good hat-trick. I still would be apprehensive because in Game Week 26, you could get Son in, and also I still prefer Son long-term. But yeah, Sterling, if you have him, or if you had him for Game Week 25, you made massive ground on everyone. So he could be one of those differentials. Sterling and KDB have kind of been neck and neck all season. I was actually favouring KDB and saying skip Sterling, and then look. So I think the moral of the story is no one's that reliable apart from the 5-6 that I mentioned before. So we have to be open-minded. So Sterling's worth getting, but I'm not sure if I'd bring him in this week. My bench, De Gea, Cucurella, Gallagher, Ramsey, bench boost maybe. Yeah, that's a good bench boost actually, but bear in mind, Gallagher only has 1 game, and the rest, I mean, to be fair, they're pretty good games for all of them. That's a good bench boost, but if not, just triple captain Salah. I think Mahrez is a better asset in UCL Fantasy. I agree, Harry. He's very good in UCL Fantasy. I'm actually trying to find a way to get him into my team, but in FPL, the fact that he gets benched so often, that's what puts me off. Workhorse is not available. Well, look, it's a possibility, but he picked up an injury in the Liverpool game today, so I'll have to keep an eye on it, but it's unfortunate. I was looking to bring him in, and also another double in 27. So just hold your horses, wait and see, evaluate the situation, but he might miss out in 26. Wow, it's already 8 o'clock, so time has flown by already. This stream has been going on for 1 hour and a half. Which midfielder can replace Gallagher so I can get Salah by replacing Fernandes? Well, if you need money, then I'd go for Ramsey. And if you want someone else, then go for Gordon. Let's talk basic. Bad week for everyone. Well, I saw some people getting 80 plus points, and I think he's now into the top 20k, so obviously that's really good. For the most part, maybe a bad game week for most, but yeah, some people did well. Does anyone know when Reece James is supposed to return? It's kind of been quiet recently in terms of that, but I think within the next month or 2 he should be back. So by April he should definitely be, back in unless something else happens. So yeah, that's probably when. And he's someone to keep an eye on. With those fixtures for Chelsea from Game Week 28, they look fantastic. Okay, so DNNN puts his team. Rate my team. I like it. In terms of players, I don't like too much. The double Watford attack, I don't like that. So even now, if Workhorse was available, I'd do King to Workhorse. Trossard I don't like, and also Pickford. The rest looks fine. Reguilon is someone maybe to keep an eye on to get rid of. You've got Ramsdale, Tierney, then you've got Salah, Jota and Trent. So that's 5 players who are blanking in 27, but you could easily get rid of Jota next week for Coutinho. So that's kind of my synopsis or summary of your team, DNNN. Hopefully you got that. In terms of transfers to prioritise, maybe I would go for Trossard out first. And but I think in 27 you could look to get rid of Jota, and perhaps then you'd have Tierney. Yeah, it's tough because I do like Tierney after from 28 onwards, but consider getting a Wolves defender for either Reguilon or Tierney in 27 or whenever, and you should have enough players in 27, and you look good as well long term. So yeah. What happened with Salah? Not sure. Apparently there's some video going around, some inappropriate videos or images. So yeah. Thank you, FPL Gronk, much appreciated. And thank you to everyone who's tuning in. Waiting for the Champions League games would make sense. Don't want a Ramos. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think only City play this week. That's the good thing about it. So it doesn't really impact your decision making for 26 in terms of Salah. But that's a good point. I don't want any injuries or anything, but I might have to do the transfers early. But it's very risky because if I bring in Workhorse and he turns out not to be available, I either have to take another hit to get rid of him, or I'm going to go into the actual game, with Workhorse not even being in the squad for both games. Yeah, the workhorse train as well. Yeah, I probably just need to see how the Dutch commentators pronounce it and just try to emulate it, to be honest. You can actually bench boost if Salah blanks 1 game. If Salah blanks 1 game, but so be it. He could still do very well in the other one. I just look at my bench. It's bench boostable, but I still wouldn't be too keen. Thank you, FPL Dream. Love your streams, particularly the effort you make to answer everyone. Thank you very much. It's just fun, to be honest. Most of the comments are pretty good. Cough, cough. There's a team that I feel you're missing. Just won FIFA Club World Cup. I mentioned Chelsea already, Game Week 28, but there's no real need to talk about Chelsea right now, I think. Right now we have to talk about the blank in 27, Chelsea blank in 27. They don't have a double in 26. So, yeah, I think right now Chelsea, something to think about later, not right now, but I've already marked 28 as a really good time to maybe consider maybe Lukaku if he comes good. I mean, he was looking good in the Club World Cup against pretty poor opposition, albeit, but I think the defenders is where I'm really looking at. So Rudiger, James' fees back, but let's wait and see. Deadly 4U2 puts his team. So you're thinking of Sterling. Wait, let's see. So what's the team? So Saab, Sanchez, Livramento, Digne. Sterling or Son to Mora, and Ronaldo to Broja. I will not get rid of Son. Sterling or Son to Mora. If that's what you're saying, so wait, let me just check a team. Oh no, Mora to... Okay, it's the other way around. Yeah, I would do Mora to Son and Broja to Ronaldo. Wait, let me check this. Let me double check this. So yeah, okay. Just trying to make sense of that. Okay, so Ronaldo to Broja. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine to facilitate that Mura to Son move. Yeah, that looks good for a -4. Just bear in mind, Brozier doesn't have a double. You'd probably maybe bench him in 26, but Brozier's got some very good fixtures coming up, and he's looking good. Are we sure King is on pens? Feel like Sarr could still be on them. Yeah, if he comes back, that's true, but I still think King could be the main penalty taker. It's just risky, you know. You never know what's going to happen. If Watford do get a penalty, then King could haul finally. Is Salah triple captain not good now? I think he'll play both games. I don't think he's going to be rested because of the videos or whatever that's going around. If anything, he'll be benched because they need him ready for the Champions League or the Carabao Cup. So that's the problem. I still think it's worth it though. Even in one game, he could do very well. Dylan, I'm going to go Kane rather than Son. You should get Kane, remember. He could be a placeholder for Lukaku's. Yeah, true, but then Lukaku hasn't really shown enough in the Prem, but you make a good point. And also, if we're looking at my team, I'm looking at the other strikers. Workhorse is the only one. Keep saying it, workhorse. But I look at the others and I don't like them. So it just makes sense maybe to get Kane in my situation and maybe get a Wolves defender to facilitate these moves. So yeah, I'm looking at that. And maybe Gray to Ramsey instead of going for Cody in for Cucurella. So I'm going to think about that one. But yeah, that's a good point. Newcastle looking interesting. They are. Trippier is the main one. But I don't expect them to score free kicks every week. I expect that to kind of calm down a little bit. Thank you, Cyril, for tuning in. Thanks for a great stream again, Dylan. Bad game week again for me, but felt good to have Diop coming off the bench. Wow, yeah, that's a good substitution to have. And sometimes you've got to celebrate these small victories because when they add up, you get a big success. So thank you very much, Cyril, for tuning in. The question is, if you don't triple captain Salah now, then which game week will be best? Honestly, look, I wish I could answer that, with as much clarity as possible. But if we're really looking at it, we don't know which doubles are going to happen in the future yet. And apart from game week 30 and 38, every other game week could have doubles in it. So there could be, I don't know, another player, a really good player with a good set of double game week fixtures. So it's tough for me to say right now. So Salah at the moment looks like by far the best option we're going to get for the rest of the season. But you never know what's going to happen. The FA Cup is going to impact stuff. Even the Champions League could impact the Premier League scheduling. You never know. There could be another postponement, although that's less likely now. Team for Game Week 26 says FPL Dream. So do I bench Cancelo or sub in for the starting lineup for who? I would start Cancelo and I would probably bench, looking at your team briefly, I would bench Watkins or DCL actually. If one of those would be benched, I'm not sure who. And let me actually check the fixture once again. I don't want to give you the wrong impression. So yeah, looking at the fixture. So yeah, Everton play Southampton away. Maybe I'd start Watkins over Calvert-Lewin, but I'm not sure about that one. You could say Watford are looking better defensively, but as a team, they're still looking pretty poor. Southampton are leaking goals, but they're looking very good, and they could cause Everton problems. So yeah, one of those two would be benched for Cancelo. And in terms of, let's see, wait. Oh, apologies for this, by the way. Apologies, I was on the wrong screen, so that's my bad. Yeah. Yeah, rating your team. Let me just get it up again. So I think it's fine. I don't think you need to change anything right now. Maybe one of your strikers, but then who do you get in? Workhorse if he's available. That's pretty much it. I don't want to overcomplicate that. Your team looks fine right now. It's a pretty solid team, an 8 or 9 out of 10, all things considered. The only thing is maybe the weakness is Foster. I'm still not a big fan of him. So if you can bring a second goalkeeper, someone like Ramsdale or something, I would probably do it. Saiss or Tierney, I probably prefer Saiss, but I do like Tierney too. If you're looking at Game Week 26, I prefer Tierney, but because of that blank in 27, for the next 5, Saiss is looking better. Thank you, I'm freeing in 27, fair enough. So far, Ramsdale, White, double rested players, 2 free transfers, 0.6 million in the bank, Cancelo, Fernandes, Bowen, Foden, Ronaldo, Antonio. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, yeah, Ronaldo you could move down to. Trying to see which strikers you have. Maybe Edouard and also Foden to Son. I mean, you don't have Salah, do you? Yeah, if you don't have Salah, then yeah, do Foden up to Salah, or yeah, Fernandes to Salah, Foden to Son, and Ronaldo down to Edouard. You should have enough money for all of that. Eddie Casey. Daesh said it's a wait and see in regards to Workhorse injury. Fair enough. Yeah, exactly. That's not what I want to hear because I would want a bit more clarity right now so I could make the moves tonight, if anything. Hi, Dylan, live stream for UCL Fantasy. Yep, exactly, Ignacio. There's going to be a deadline stream on Tuesday. There might not be a video tomorrow for UCL Fantasy because there's no limitless chip. You can't use it in match day 7. And I've already done my team selection, but there could be an update if you guys want. But yeah, there will be a live stream. Bench boost or triple captain. I also have the same team as you, just Jota and Rodriguez in place of Digne and Son. Yeah, fair enough. I still would rather triple captain. Yeah. Mount injury is another concern for Chelsea. Yeah, and also I'm not really a big fan of going for Chelsea attackers right now. Maybe Lukaku could be one to look out for, but I don't like the midfielders. My first FPL season, made a couple mistakes, but looking forward for next season with Dylan's help can do much better. To be honest, thank you very much for that, but ultimately we're just offering our opinions here and doing our best. The whole community does help, but yeah, I think the more you learn by yourself anyway, you might pick some stuff up, watching videos or stuff like that. But yeah, I think the more you grow as an FPL manager, the better you'll do. I think the decision-making process is more important than the results. So yeah, once you kind of fine-tune some things, I think you'll definitely improve a lot more. And yeah, unfortunately for me anyway, obviously that's not what you said, but I've done pretty poorly the last 10 game weeks or so, but it's a lesson. Sometimes, you have these kind of spells, but there's still ways back in, and these chips can be very important, at least in my situation. Hopefully you can get the rank you want this season. Alonso to Ben White and Foden to Salah, good? Yeah, I think it is. Just bear in mind, Ben White does blank in 27. You could maybe go for Tierney or a Wolves defender, maybe even Reguilon or a Spurs defender, although would I bring Reguilon in right now? Probably not. But yeah, those transfers look good, Hosper. All the best for you, Game Week 26 and the remainder of 25. Still got De Gea, Dalot, Fernandes, Cucurella and Malpai. 46 points, -8. Wow, but you got Malpai. That's a good return there. And the rest could do something in Game Week 25. So yeah, good luck to you as well. Hopefully the rest of Game Week 25 goes smoothly, and 26, which is going to be very interesting. Saiss or Tierney if free hitting 27. Well, if you're free hitting in 27, then I guess I'd go for Tierney, but I like both of them a lot. And you could cover Wolves with 8 Nuri or Cody instead. I've had Dennis for his good run and doubled up on King after they have cost me, recently dropping from 64 to 110k. But I have a feeling they could both bang this week. Yeah, maybe. And looking at the fixtures, and also Dennis does have the quality as he's shown in that passage of play against Brighton. Maybe I should start him. Obviously right now on screen he is, but if I do make some transfers, he could actually drop to the bench. So it is a bit of a risky one. Let's actually check. Let's go once again to the FPL.team screen. So here we go. So yeah, if we go with this team, maybe I could bench Rafinha, or yeah, actually I would bench Digne here, by the way. So if I brought in Kane, I would bench Digne and I would start Dennis, and I would have 9 double game week players. So maybe I should go for this instead. I'd have, wow, exactly 0 million left in the bank. So unless I go for someone like Nuri instead of Cody or Kilman, I really have next to no wriggling room really in terms of the price rises. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and do you prefer this team with Harry Kane coming in and Connor Cody, or this one? Obviously Salah comes in for both instances. This one would be Son coming in and also Workhorse or another striker. And in terms of the actual names, Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo, both of them are going to be sold. And yeah, Salah Workhorse, or if not, it's going to be Salah Kane. And the other move would be either Greater Son in the first example, or in the second example, it would be Cucurella to Cody, as you can see right here. So going back to your questions, let's see. Thank you very much everyone for tuning in once again. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here. We're very close to 10,000 subscribers. It'd be much appreciated, and we will be reaching it very soon. So thank you very much for that. Let's see. 12 more weeks only. Crazy. Yeah, it's gone by so quickly, hasn't it? Let's see, what else have I missed? Who to go for in 26, Son or Kane? The thing is, I prefer Son for the value he offers. That's the reason why I do prefer Son. But Kane is looking in better form recently anyway. Although, obviously, in the 2 games ago, Son did score against Southampton. Kane didn't. But I still think Kane's looking a bit sharper recently. Foden or Cancelo? Cancelo. As in, I would start Cancelo and bench Foden. With Fofana and Evans returning, Leicester might be a fixture to attack. Yeah, true. That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, it might not be a fixture. Yeah, that's true. And sometimes they've been having, I think, centre-backs on the bench, like Soyuncu, which is a bit strange. But yeah, Leicester should be better, but they've never been solid defensively, even with all these players available. Should I bring in Odegaard for Rafinha? No, I'd just keep Rafinha. Now, Kane's season is done. Fair enough. If Workhorse is fit, I think Son with Workhorse. Yeah, exactly. The problem is I have to probably make the transfers now, and I will just literally have to kind of go in blind. And worst case scenario is he misses both games, Workhorse in 26. But if he only missed one and then has a double in 27, it's not too bad, I think. So I might just take the plunge and go for Son and Workhorse. And also when I put that poll in the channel, 80% of you already voted for the Son and Workhorse option. Thank you, Lager. Much appreciated. Thanks for the stream, Dylan. Hope to catch the next one as always. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you, the Flying Dutchman. Thank you very much. Is it worth a -8 to do Seiss in for Alonso? Yeah, I think so. Or transfer out Jota or Alonso for Game Week 27. Probably a minus there also if Gray is out. I think it's worth it. Alonso to Seiss, and also you've got a player for Game Week 27. And Seiss after that looks very good. So yeah, any Wolves defender, Seiss, Kilman, Aït-Nouri, Cody, all of them look very good. So I think it's worth the -4. Got all the chips left. Exciting times at the moment to hopefully finish strong. Yeah, and also I think there could be a huge difference between where we are now and the end of the season, for better or worse, because there's going to be so many double game weeks and even the occasional blank that our chip strategies will be very important. But also, even when we're not playing the chips, it's how we approach these singles and doubles and blanks. It's going to be very, very intriguing. Given that almost no forward score points, does that make Kane more valuable? That's what I was thinking in terms of, the only two strikers I'm looking to bring in right now are Kane and Workhorse. So I think that's why Kane is more valuable than someone like Ronaldo and all these others, because he has shown a bit of form recently at least, and he could actually be one of the best strikers in the game. I still think, maybe not in terms of value, but he is still the best striker in the game right now. But yeah, hasn't shown enough consistency for me. Yeah, if Workhorse is injured, you could go for Rodriguez, right? Yeah, that's true. I would be less keen on him though, because I've seen more positive signs by Workhorse. But yeah, I think Rodriguez is a shout. If you take Workhorse and he is injured, you could ride the Dennis train one last time. Yeah, true. That is true. So if I go back to this, maybe Dennis could come off the bench and do very well anyway. So it could be a blessing in disguise no matter what. And I have the double to look forward to from Workhorse in 27. So yeah, that's a good point. Should I sell Diaz for a Wolves defender? Good question. I still like City defence, for the long term. I do prefer Laporte in terms of value, but yeah, I don't think you need to make that transfer. But if you already have Cancelo and you want to add another double game week player, that's a good idea, getting a Wolves defender here. How about triple captaining Trent next week? I think it's a good choice. He's the second best triple captaincy option in Game Week 26 for me. But I think Salah is the better one. I think Salah is still the top one, no matter what's happening right now off the pitch or whatever. But Trent can get a clean sheet in both games, could easily get an assist, and he's a bonus points machine. So I think it's a fantastic option, but I prefer Salah. Why better value than Tierney and Gabriel? I think he's good value. I'm not sure if he's better. And Gabriel might actually be the best value and just the best Arsenal defender overall. And maybe someone I haven't talked about enough, but he's the highest scoring Arsenal defender this season. He's got the eye for goal as well, from set pieces. Obviously, the one he scored recently against Wolves was a bit lucky, but he has a habit of scoring against Wolves. Maybe that could be, something to look forward to in Game Week 26. So I like all of them, but Gabriel or Tierney would be my preferred pick if you can afford it. I don't think Wolves' defence, I don't think so. And obviously they kept a clean sheet away against Spurs. Not many people expected that. And against Arsenal, yeah, they were poor in that moment. I don't think their defence is bad though. And if you look overall, I think they've actually conceded the second least amount of goals this season. So let me actually just check that and confirm. So Man City have conceded 14 goals. Wolves have conceded 17. Then it's Chelsea, who have conceded 18. Then Liverpool with 19. So yeah, I think they've got a pretty solid defence really. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at goals conceded, the second best in the league. In terms of clean sheets, I think they're still off the top three, but pretty close. So yeah, I think Wolves have a good defence. Can't wait for all forwards to turn up for Double Game Week 26. Yeah, exactly. And it'd be typical if we go for the wrong ones. And the ones that you get rid of, or the ones that you just kind of ignore and think, you know what, they're useless, like Dennis or King, they end up doing very well. Jimenez in for Watkins or Elise in for Gray. Need either one for Salah. I prefer Elise in for Gray. Lost, yeah. Trippier scored winning goal. Dubravka 1 save. Dubravka 3 bonus points. Trippier 2. What's going on? I'm not sure. Sometimes the bonus point system is a bit weird. I didn't see the entire game, so I can't really answer that. But yeah, I think I'm not sure. Trippier probably should have got the bonus points. For points value, I mean, yeah, fair enough. I still think they're worth it though, because you're looking at Seiss around 5 million. You've got Gabriel, Tierney. mean, Region's not really an option right now, so he's probably one of the best ones. Then you're looking at Cody, 4.7. He's probably the best, around that price. Same with Kilman and 8 Nuri. Which Wolves defenders would you bring in? I mean, ideally it would be 8 Nuri, but I might just go for the extra security of someone like Cody. So, as you can see on screen, let me just show you now. If I were to bring in a Wolves defender, it would be Connor Cody. So, yeah, that's how I would look. Cucurella to Tierney, that's a good choice. Just try to be aware and try to have a good team in Game Week 27 because he does blank. But that's a good move. Is White a good option? Yeah, I think so. I would rather go for, if you can afford this, Cody, Kilman, or 8 Nuri, but White is a good option. Would you rather play Watkins or Elise? Probably Elise because of the double. I'm not sure if he starts both games, but he's shown a bit more recently. Watkins, though, who knows? He could be one of these strikers we're talking about who ends up actually doing something for once rather than blanking all the time. So, yeah, that's pretty much how we're looking like right now. And obviously, if you haven't already, as we said before, smash the like button. Let's try to get to 120 likes. And we're almost at 9,800 subscribers. We're 4 off. So if you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and you will be notified for any new content. We've got UCL Fantasy right around the corner. There's going to be a live stream for that on Tuesday, and there's going to be more FPL content as always ahead of Game Week 26 to prepare you for in the best way possible, and also beyond. We have to think about blank Game Week 27, blank Game Week 30, and all these other doubles that are going to pop up for the rest of the season. So thank you very much, and let me just double check something. Sometimes YouTube kind of bugs out here. Okay, there's no issues, I think, so that's good. That's all good. And we can continue with the live stream. So if you have any more questions or comments, let me know. We've been going for nearly 2 hours, so it's good to see all of you again. Lamptey went from 0 bonus points to 3 after the game, dropping Malpai out of the race. Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, that's quite a drastic change. You can't have someone out of the bonus points all of a sudden having max, but they sometimes do this sort of thing, and it kind of baffles me, but I'm kind of accustomed to it by this point. CR7, Dennis, DCL, Rafinha, Jota, Bowen, Silva, Foden, Cancelo, Trent, Digne, Livramento, Williams, De Gea, Foster. Do I wildcard? Good question. So I like Cancelo, Trent. Digne is good. De Gea's fine as well. Bowen's very good. Jota's fine. Rafinha's fine. Dennis is fine, I guess. Maybe I would wildcard, but the thing is, it is kind of a blessing in disguise to wildcard a bit later because you can also target these fixture swings for example, Wolves and Chelsea players, but you could also bring them in early on this wildcard. So that's another way to look at it. And also, you could also use it in Game Week 31 to 35 and also prepare for a bench boost in 36. But long story short, I think, you don't need to wildcard, but I think it would maybe be beneficial for you. So, for example, to change your team up a little bit, you could have Ramsdale and Jose Sarr in goal. If not, you could keep Foster, that's fine. In defence, you could maybe get, instead of Livramento and Williams, you could get 8 Nuri or another Wolves defender. And you could possibly look to get, let's see. Yeah, maybe a Spurs defender if you want. You don't have to, though. And right now, they're looking poor. You could keep Bowen and maybe Rafinha, and you can get rid of the rest. You could get Ramsey, Coutinho, and to look at another, Salah, of course. Salah would be the main guy. Up front, get rid of Ronaldo and get rid of Calvert-Lewin, and you could get Workhorse if he's fit. If not, you could go for Edouard. Edouard's another one. And also maybe Malpai or just another single gimmick player like Broja, Nemanja, or let's see, Niranya, sorry. Yeah, that's what I would look to do. Bruno or Sterling? Looking long-term, probably Sterling. Bruno I prefer up until Game Week 28, but once the fixtures turn, it has to be Sterling. I'm thinking triple Arsenal defence. No, rather than getting Saka's, Arsenal aren't exactly free scoring. Look, obviously, you could always play the game the way you want, but for me, I wouldn't triple up on any team defensively, even City. So with Arsenal, a double up at the very most, DNN. I don't think you need to triple up. I'd rather have Saka as well. And also, that probably means you're going to free hit in 27. So now I don't even know if I should bring Salah in. No, I think he's going to be fine, unless there's something really bad that he's done, then I would be worried. Otherwise, it's fine. 2 free transfers. Yeah, I mean, even with 2 free transfers, you could solve some of your issues. But yeah, all of those transfers I recommended to you, I think could be very beneficial. And you could save the wildcard for later on. Sarr or Ramsey for double game week. Jose Sarr or Ramsey? Sarr or Ramsey? I'm trying to make sense of that, sorry. Yeah, I'm not sure because a goalkeeper and an outfield player doesn't really matter. But yeah, if you're looking to bring one in, well, Ramsey doesn't have a double, so has to be Jose Sarr, and he's a good long-term option. Force on Lacazette might do well in this double, but I'm not too keen on him. And the same goes for any striker, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of Lacazette FPL-wise. I'm free hitting in 27, and my second transfer could be Jimenez in for Watkins, Elise in for Gray. Should I do this or transfer a player for 28 so my transfer isn't wasted? You could use one free transfer. You don't need to use two of them though, and it's actually a good thing to just use one free transfer, not just use two for the sake of it, and then have two free transfers in Game Week 27 as well. So honestly, I'd probably just use one free transfer. Well, then again, you are freeing in 27. That's true. Yeah, I get what you mean. Actually, that's true. My bad. I probably would. I like those transfers anyway. Jimenez, not a big fan of, but then Watkins isn't doing that great either. Elise in for Gray, yeah. I would actually consider Ramsey, even though he doesn't have a double. Should I sell... Oh, yeah. Sarr Ramsdale. I prefer Ramsdale, but only get him if you can afford, or if you have a second goalkeeper who can, come in when needed. So in Game Week 27, if you have a second goalkeeper ready and primed to go, then that's fine. Go for Ramsdale. But otherwise, go for Jose Sarr, and that's it. But my preference is the Arsenal goalkeeper. Yeah, exactly, Mickey. Yeah, that's my bad. I have 2 Arsenal and 3 Liverpool. Getting another Arsenal this week, free hit in Game Week 27 for sure, right? Well, in your situation, yeah. If you have 2 Arsenal players already and you're looking to get a third, then yes. But I wouldn't triple up on Arsenal defence. Trust me, you don't want that headache. Arsenal can be very nerve-wracking to watch. Do you think Liverpool will make the race interesting? I think City will win the league, but Liverpool might get a bit close, so within, let's say, 6 points or something. But yeah, I think City will win. Yeah, Crystal Palace have been a tough place, that's true, but City should still win most games easily. It's very rare for them to drop points. They're such a consistent team. No problem, Omar. Thank you very much for your question. And yeah, I'd probably go for Ramsdale if you have enough cover for 27. Thank you, DNN. Oh, I just call you DN. But thank you very much for tuning in. Much appreciated. And yeah, just take care and enjoy the rest of your night. Salah is not worth it till he brings the points again. Come on. Against Leicester, he came on and nearly scored 2 really good goals. Obviously, a one-on-one probably should have scored, but it was on his right foot and hit the crossbar. I don't agree. Yeah, I have Ramsey already. Fair enough. Okay, lost. Yeah, I'd probably go for Elise. If not, maybe consider Gordon. But then, I think the one problem actually with having Ramsey already and going for another midfielder is that it's quite hard to get out of that team structure because I'm not sure how much money you have in the bank. But if you have 2 budget midfielders, it does make it a bit difficult to break out that team structure and be more flexible. So what I would recommend is try to upgrade and find money elsewhere. I just think Elise won't do anything, so thinking Jimenez, yeah, exactly, that should be fair enough. And yeah, you might waste a free transfer or whatever, but that's fine. Maybe consider a goalkeeper move. If you have Foster, maybe move him up. That's something you could do. You're going to bench all Liverpool players in week 27. Yeah, but I'm fine with that, to be fair. And I'll probably get rid of Jota. So I'd keep Trent and Salah. I don't really see a need to get rid of Salah. And it does seem a bit, I don't know, not going for Salah just because he blanks in 27 when we all know in those 2 games Salah could go absolutely crazy and outscore anyone in Game Weeks 26 and 27 combined. I just don't really make sense of it. Saints have 4 to 6 FDR. Should I get Adams in? Yeah, I mentioned him earlier. I think Adams or Brozier look pretty good. Also Ward-Prowse. So right now those look like the best options from Southampton. Adams, though, he can be a bit streaky and then end up disappearing for large portions of the season. But yeah, I think that's a good shout. How many double gaming players would you have as a minimum? 6, maybe 5, 6. If you have 7+, I think that's fine. You don't need to really get any more. Obviously, any more is a bonus. Hot take, this City team is better than the Centurions. Wow. I think in terms of an attacking perspective, maybe not, but I do agree in terms of how difficult they are to beat, maybe. Although the other team, I think, they only lost their first game in January, and that was to Liverpool. But this defence is better. That's what I would say. So if you were to do like a combined 11 or something, I'm not sure. Edison now, probably better than the Edison back then. Cancelo's better than Walker back then, and stuff like that. Well, then again, Cancelo does play on the left back, so you'd have to probably compare him to who was playing back then, left back Mendy, isn't it? Although he was kind of in and out of the team. That's true, yeah. That's a debatable one, but that's actually not too much of a hot take, actually. Salah back to being a captain every week now. Well, apart from Game Week 27, yes, I think so. Especially Game Week 26, that's kind of a no-brainer. If you have him, you're probably going to be captaining him. Good thinking with my goalkeeper. My plan is to have Tierney, White, Martinelli, but Martinelli got a red and not enough for Odegaard. I can now bring in Ramsdale for De Gea. Yeah, I mean, that's something worth thinking about. Yeah, I think, look, De Gea, very good considering how bad United's defence have been, but Ramsdale will keep more clean sheets and get a similar amount of saves and also more bonus points. So yeah, I think that's probably a way to go. Obviously, thank you very much, Loss, for your comments. I think that's a decent move for you. Great time for bench boost. Yeah, it depends on the bench, obviously. Even for my bench, it's not too bad, but some people might not really be that keen. I'm just going to be using my triple captaincy, I think. Let's just wait and see how that turns out. Hi, Dylan. Kane or Kundi? I'm trying to think quickly because I'm probably bugging out or something. Or Kundi. Yeah, I'll just skip that for now. Obviously, if there is kind of an explanation for that, then let me know. De Gea, Foster, Cancelo, thinking to get Salah for Fernandes. Any other move? Yep, definitely. I'd definitely do that, Ahmed. And the other move I would make is 2.1 million in the bank. Okay. Yeah, it's tough. So I'm not sure if you only have one free transfer or two available. If you have two, so you'd only take a -4 making free transfers, I would get rid of Foden for Son. And the other move would be to facilitate that. So you'd make a downgrade elsewhere. And maybe you could do Watkins down to another striker. But otherwise, maybe upgrade Davis to Workhorst or Edouard. That's what I look to do, Ahmed. But yeah, either way, Salah definitely get him in for Ramsdale for Fernandes. I'll have to bench either Bowen or Cancelo because of the double gameweek players. What should I do? It depends. If you have someone like Rafinha or Dennis, I'd actually be considering benching them instead of those single gameweek players. That's what I would do. Otherwise, yeah, just maybe bench Cancelo, but I'm not too sure about that. I'm 0.1 million off Ramsdale. Oof. Maybe you could take a hit and find the money elsewhere and also just get another double gameweek player or just a really long-term solution for your team. Lost. Diaz and Watkins for Nuri and Adams for a -4. That looks good, Oliver. And really, why not take a punt on a striker? Someone who's actually showing a bit of form against decent opposition. And yeah, Nuri looks good. Just bear in mind he could be rotated from time to time, but should start the vast majority of games. I think he's Wolves' best fullback, period, or wingback. Triple captain Salah, yeah, that's what I'm probably looking to do, Harrison. This City defence is better overall. All other teams know how City play. That's true. What I would say, though, is the midfield was better in the Centurions. And also the attack, Sane, Aguero and Sterling. I would rather have that than what they have right now, even with Foden and all that. And I would argue KDB or De Bruyne was better back then than he is now. But that's a good point, In terms of how difficult they are to beat or to score against, yes, that's true. But even Spurs, first game of the season under Nuno Espirito Santo, managed to beat them, but they were missing a lot of players, I'll admit that. It's an argument to be had. I don't think it's such a hot take, I think it's definitely very close. And if this City team wins the Champions League, then you'd probably say this one's better. But it's all the result of the work that's been built from then and also all the money spent. But yeah, Pep Guardiola is, in my opinion, the best manager in the league. Obviously, a lot of people will say Klopp, but yeah, Guardiola for me is probably the best. So thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. I'll be answering any more questions you have. We've been going on for over 2 hours, so keep the questions coming and we can keep on going. So let me actually just do a little check here. So yeah, as I said, we're only 4 subscribers away from 9,800. So if you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. And let me just check this. Sometimes YouTube have issues. No issues today. That's good. That's good. Good to hear that. And yeah, good to see all of you here once again. And yeah, let's keep the show on the road. And let's also see this. So yeah, we've got 105 likes. Thank you very much. Let's try to get to 120 as well by the end of the stream. So that all looks very good. All right, let's see. What do you think about Tomiyasu this week? He should return very soon, whether it's in Game Week 26 or the first game of 26 or the second one. But yeah, in terms of, comparing him to the other Arsenal assets, I still would rather have Gabriel, Tierney, and even probably Ben White. But yeah, he's not too bad. When he does play, he can get bonus points as well. Martinelli, Elise to Saka, Cornet, Rafinha from -4. I get rid of Martinelli and I would get in either Saka or Rafinha, Golden Boys. Thank you, Rock and Roll, for tuning in, and looking forward for the Tuesday stream. Hope to see you there. Thank you very much for tuning in. Semedo long term, yeah, but I do prefer Saiss, Cody, Kilman, and Aït-Nouri. But Semedo has looked decent recently, even though he kind of flatters to deceive as well. Thank you very much, Oliver, for subscribing. Much appreciated. And yeah, we are very close to 10,000 as well. So yeah, in terms of workhorse, that's going to be the kind of big contentious point. Let's see what's happening with Salah as well. I'm surprised, I actually heard nothing about that until you guys mentioned it. So yeah, these things can happen. Yeah, we're now 1 like off 110. So thank you very much to everyone. Much appreciated. Let me just double check the subscriber count. Yeah, we're still 4 off. So yeah, thank you very much to everyone who's already subscribed. You can also become a channel member by clicking the pinned comment in the live chat. And yeah, you can also check the description below. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM or Dylan_RCM. Either one will work. And the Discord server is also available. So if you want to check that out, if you become a member, I can actually create a members only Discord channel where we can have voice chats and all of that. So let me know if you guys would be interested, and girls obviously. So yeah, thank you very much for that. And the league code is on the bottom left hand corner of your screen, 886RGT, and there's a link in the description below as well. 1 free transfer left. What's your thoughts on a good time to wildcard? Either Game Week 28 or Game Week 31 to 35. Game Week 31 is looking very, let's say, common, or it's looking very popular because people will dead end their teams into Game Week 30 potentially, or free hit in 30, and then have their Game Week 29 team heading into 31, and then they can wildcard out of that. So 31 looks like a very good time as well. Thank you, Golden Boys. Is it best to just spend all your money on defenders and midfielders? Antonio's the 17th highest scoring player in the game, and Dennis is the 28th. Yeah, they are the first and second for forwards. Great point, Liam. I believe so. I think in my wildcard draft, all of my strikers were around 6 or 5 million, and there's a reason for that. So I agree. I think most of the money should be invested in the midfield, then the defence, and then the attack, and then the goalkeepers. So I agree, Liam. That's a great point. Guardiola is a tactical magician. I agree, is the best manager. With Klopp, I mean, maybe it's a bit harsh to say he's more one-dimensional, but I think Pep is just a bit more, I don't know, tactically I think he's by far the best. But Klopp is obviously, in terms of man management, probably the best one. If you combine both, you probably get a heck of a manager. But yeah, I mean, the fact that Pep, in his first full season with Barcelona, he won every trophy available, I mean, it's unbelievable. And I don't think he gets enough credit for the work he did there. Obviously, I was a bit disappointed he didn't win the Champions League last season. But yeah, even with that, he's still, for me, the best manager in the world right now. What's the news about Salah? Apparently there's a video going around of him just doing some random stuff. I don't want to really talk about it, but yeah, it might be fake, Oliver. Honestly, I have no idea. I haven't even seen it myself. I probably don't want to see it. Keep Jota or get Salah. Get Salah. Even with everything that's going on. Obviously, if you want to be cautious and you're not sure if he's going to play both games because of what's happening, maybe just hold off. But I think there should be no issue. I could be wrong though. My plan now is Ramsdale for De Gea, Salah for Bruno, and Jimenez to Watkins. Watkins out of form, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ings started a game. Yeah, that's a good point, Lost, and that looks pretty good. I like those transfers. I think it's only for a -4, and if that's true, that looks very good, Lost. Yeah, I'm literally not even sure, Lager. Hopefully Oliver can fill us in, but yeah, not even sure what's happening there. Bruno to Son looks good. Yeah, I think so. Prioritise Salah first, though. That's what I would do. So let's go back to my game week 20. Look, losing count of this. 26 team. And Trent is my captain right now, but Salah would be the captain if he comes in. So yeah, the site I just showed was FPL.team, and I was showing my transfer plans for 26, which I'm still unsure about. Imagine if Salah news leads to no price rise. Yeah, that would be ideal, but I still think the other players I'm looking to bring in would go up in price. So either way, I might need to hurry. It's just some fake stuff. I think so, Lager, but let's wait and see. Aït-Nouri guaranteed minutes. I think he'll get the odd benching. So, you've got Johnny coming back and also Marcel, but Aït-Nouri is first choice, and I think he's the best one. Thank you, Lost. Thanks, Dylan, for the stream. One of the only streamers who answers everybody. Big help. Thank you very much. Obviously, when there are more people, it is difficult sometimes. But yeah, when it's a bit calmer as well, more time to kind of digest or dissect every question, let's say. Maybe not digest. But yeah, thank you very much, Lost. Much appreciated. Good chatting to all of you as well. It's almost 9 PM UK time. So yeah, any more questions, leave them in the live chat, and then after that, if I haven't answered it by the time the stream ends, leave them down in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. So thank you very much to everyone. And yeah, that's pretty much not much more to say in terms of Game Week 26. Salah triple captain, pretty fairly obvious. And my big dilemma is getting Son or Kane, getting Workhorse and risking it, or just going safer and making a defender transfer to facilitate the other moves. Spurs in the mud, yeah, but I still think they can, produce a response in the next 2 games. Thoughts on Barca transfer strategy? It's a bit all over the place, isn't it? They're bringing in young players like Ferran Torres and all of this, and then they get in Aubameyang. I think Xavi even last season said something like, we'd never sign Aubameyang or something, he doesn't fit. So who knows, it might have been just a Laporta signing rather than a Xavi signing. But yeah, Barca right now aren't really in a position to be fully in control of their own transfers. They're in so much debt, so sometimes they have to make compromises. Would you mind asking, how many double game week players do you have? Would you mind asking, how many double game weeks do people have? Oh, okay, fair enough. In terms of me, I have 7. Trying to think here. Or 6. 6 right now with no transfers made. So yeah, it'd be Ramsdale, Trent, Jota, Rafinha, Dennis, Edouard. Yeah, I've got 6. If I bring in the 3 players I said, I'd have 9. And I'd have 2 single game week players in my starting 11 in Cancelo and Jarrod Bowen. But yeah, let's wait and see. If anyone else has any answers for that, then let him know. For me, Reguilon and Lloris out. Cody Reguilon. Yeah, that looks good. Even though I was talking about holding Reguilon, I might have been mistaken there. And Cody is probably the better option long term regardless. Thank you, Mark. Much appreciated. Hope to see you very soon. Who do you think gets the most points? An Arsenal mid or an Arsenal defender? Good question. Maybe Saka. So I'd go for a midfielder. But then I look at the other midfielders. Martinelli only plays 1 game. Smith-Rowe might just play 1 game with Martinelli coming back for the second one. So apart from Saka, I'd say for the most part the defenders will outscore the midfielders. But I have a feeling Saka could do very well in 26. Salah is allowed to be... this, isn't he? I have no idea what the context is or anything. Who knows? I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone does some weird stuff in their own time or something. But yeah, who knows? I just want the points, in FPL. That's it. Yeah, I'm not really that bothered what he does. Unless it's something, very bad. Then obviously, I would mind. Let's see. Salah can do whatever the F he wants. Yeah. Seeing a common theme recurring here. Son in for Fernandes and Lacazette. Workhorse in for Watkins. What's your take? I like the Son move. Workhorse I prefer over Lacazette, but just bear in mind Workhorse could be injured, so wait if you can. If you're not going to be priced out, just wait. And if he is deemed available, then bring him in instead of Lacazette, in my opinion. I can understand the Torres, Alves and Traore, but the Alba one is just weird. Yep. With Dembele leaving, Traore might now try to be the right wing back off the bench. Yeah, it's true. Traore is a really good dribbler, but in terms of end product, as you say, very poor. Yeah, the transfer strategy seems a bit all over the place. Xavi himself even said Aubameyang wouldn't really suit Barcelona, but there you go. Yeah, Lag, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I have 8 double game week players. That's a good position to be in, Thomas. And with a hit, you could possibly get to 10 or 11 already, so that's fine. Should I keep hold of Reguilon for this game week or get Cody? If it's for a free transfer, I would get Cody in, but it depends, because if you could do something like Fernandes to Son, I would rather prioritise that instead. Or Rafinha out for Saka. I'd probably keep Rafinha. I could see him doing well against United. Maybe not so much against Liverpool. But Rafinha has been poor recently. Got obviously taken off very early in the last game today. But yesterday. So yeah, it is a bit of a weird one. But Rafinha I'd still probably keep, even though he hasn't really been that impressive. Welcome, George. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you've got any questions, comments, let me know in the live chat. And obviously appreciate everyone tuning in today. So yeah, we're now on 111 likes. Nice number. Very nice number. Over 100 people watching as well. So cheers, everyone. Cheers. So yeah, let's see. Give me the points. Yeah, exactly. But once again, I have to stress, don't kick your cats. Don't do any of this nonsense. Just, try to live a humble life. Considering to triple captain Salah, yeah, Harrison, of course. He's probably going to be my triple captain. Right now, with this team you see on screen, obviously I don't have Salah, but once he comes in, he will be my triple captain. But let's wait and see. You've got to be open-minded with everything right now. Fernandes to Son or Gray to Saka? Fernandes to Son. Yeah, I'd still go for that, but Greater Saka, it's just a nice upgrade, isn't it? Yeah, George, if you're free hitting in 27, I would do Greater Saka, but if you're not, then I think it just makes sense to do Fernandes to Son and bench Gray. So hopefully you got that. I feel like I want to get Raf out for Saka. Yeah, fair enough. I'd still keep Rafinha, but either way, you might be in a position where you'd bench Rafinha with all the transfers made or anything, so it doesn't really matter too much. And Rafinha hasn't shown that, just hasn't shown any signs recently since the West Ham game that he's worth getting. Should I bring in Saka or Tierney? I have 2 free transfers. We'll bring Salah and Kane for sure. We'll go for a -4. Good question. If you've got Rams, they'll definitely go for Saka. I'd rather have 1 Arsenal defensive coverage and an attacker rather than 2 defensive coverage and no attackers. Otherwise, if it's just a case of one or the other, maybe I'd go for Saka. I have 7 double gameweek players. I've already brought in Salah. That looks good. Yep, that looks pretty good. And with a hit, maybe you could get to 8 or 9. 3 times I've taken out Rafinha. 3 times he's scored awesome goals. Well, if you have him, maybe do us a favour and get rid of him. I'm joking. No, obviously, that is a bit frustrating. That's kind of similar with Foden. And obviously, Harrison just mentions Foden there. Whenever I get rid of Foden, he does really well. It happened this week. When I have Foden, though, I don't think he's ever produced a return for me in FPL. In UCL Fantasy, he has. But even when I get rid of him on that, he does really well. So Foden's a bit of an enigma for me. Keep Foden or triple up Arsenal. Yeah, Harrison, I think if you're free hitting in 27, then yeah, I'd get Saka in for Foden or something like that. Otherwise, maybe consider doing something else. Maybe with a hit or 2 in game 26 and 27, you could basically avoid having to use the free hit. But yeah, that's my answer on that one. Wouldn't it be weird for Salah being an Egyptian to be involved in that kind of nonsense? Yeah, I remember when he posted Merry Christmas messages with a tree and stuff. You know, people were getting pretty upset with him. But yeah, this would be a bit weird, I guess. But you know, no matter what the country is, it's just for that to be in the public eye, if it is true, does seem a bit weird. I'm planning to wildcard this game week. Do you think Lacazette might be a decent shout? Honestly, Quicksilver, there's not that many strikers to choose from, so he might be the best one. Maybe Che Adams, Brozier, someone you don't expect, Malpai even, with a single game week. So Lacazette might actually be one of the better ones, but I just think he's too reliant on penalties. His finishing is very erratic. He's very important to how Arsenal play. I think he makes the midfielders or the wingers better, but I'm not too sure about his goal scoring repertoire really. It's just since he's come in at Arsenal, hasn't really delivered. I've got all chips left, Oliver, all of them. So 2 free hits, the bench boost and the triple captain, which I'll probably use in 26. Surely Robertson more nailed than Trent. Good point, Henry. He did have a 2-game break due to a red card while Trent played 90 minutes. But then who can come in for Trent? Not that many players. And with Robertson, he's got Tsimikas knocking on his door. So I'm not sure about that one. I don't even know why Pep decides to use Foden as a striker. I mean, we say this, but look at how good City are playing. So, you know, sometimes, you know, these kind of woke, you could say, tactics actually work. And he's a big fan of this false 9. He did it with Messi, got the best out of him. Obviously, Messi's different to Foden. He's a much better goal scorer. But, yeah, it's working. I keep King and Dennis. Maybe one of them. But look, both of them could do very well in this double game week. I would still be keen on getting rid of one of them for Workhorse maybe? Whoever's available in 26. But there's not that many strikers to choose from, that's the thing. So maybe you could prioritise other transfers instead. But I'm not a big fan of double Watford attack, not even of one Watford attacker. As one viewer pointed out, even if Dennis had a triple game week, I would actually bench him, which is a pretty good point actually right now. But, you know, Dennis almost scored a really good goal against Brighton. We could have been talking about something else entirely. But yeah, these things can happen. So yeah, any more questions, let me know. So yeah, best replacement for Laporte. I still like Laporte long term just because he got benched in 25. It doesn't mean he's going to be benched in the future. I still think he's the first choice centre-back alongside Diaz. And sometimes he even plays as the left-back, or, you know, they can switch formations, play 3 at the back. But if you want to replace him, I will look at a Wolves defender. And I've been talking about this for weeks, you know, even with these fixtures coming up. And if not, you can still go for Digne, although, you know, Villa have been very poor recently at the back. Digne has only got 1 really big return this season. But I'd mainly prioritise the Wolves defenders and maybe an Arsenal one if you are free hitting in 27 anyway. How many hits would you take to play the bench boost? Maybe a -8. -12 at the very most, but -8 at the most. With a bench boost, you'd be happy with maybe 15 to 25 points. Anything more is fantastic for me. Foden is excellent for City's system. He links up play by going deep and has a great passing range. Yeah, I agree. And also just the dribbling. He's very, very hard to get the ball off. And as you say, links up the wingers, the strikers, and the midfielders very well. But I keep on thinking if City had a striker like Haaland, maybe their overall play would dip a little bit. But he's so clinical. He could win games for them. Time for getting players that are not playing in the Champions League. Yeah, in a way, but Cancelo, I'd still expect him to start the vast majority of games. That Tottenham game, I'd be very surprised if he was benched, to name one example. Game week 27, Jota out for Son. Thing is, Jota could be benched in one of those, but I still would try to avoid that and keep Jota for this double. Maybe get rid of him for 27, but either way, if you're going to get rid of him, doesn't really matter. If Workhorse isn't injured, him or Jimenez, Workhorse would be my preference. But then again, he hasn't actually scored a goal yet for Burnley, despite some good performances. Jimenez has only scored 5 goals this season. I think 2 of them are penalties. So it's difficult. No striker right now is reliable. In Game Week 26, Dennis or Maupay? Maybe Dennis, but Maupay has been in much better form. Going to do the Salah transfer now to try and beat the price rise. Hope the early transfer doesn't come back to bite before Game Week 26. Yeah, hopefully not. And also, Liverpool aren't playing midweek, so the only way he can really get injured or something happens is, in training or off the pitch. So Spotify near to be the main sponsor for Barca. Yeah, they were kind of circling around Arsenal, and now they're on Barcelona. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? But yeah, Barca, going to get that Spotify money. Maybe they need that. CR7, Dennis, DCL, Rafinha, Jota. Yeah, I think you put your team already, Niranya. I already mentioned some, ways you can improve your team. So, yeah, basically Williams, Livramento, maybe even De Gea, one of your goalkeepers. Foden. Who else? Yeah, DCL, CR7, those are the ones. Yeah, Jota to Son. Honestly, yeah, Silva to Salah looks good. Yeah, CR7 to Broja looks good, long term. Silva to Salah, yep, very good. Yeah, that looks fine. I like those transfer plans, but I'd also look in the coming weeks to get rid of the other players I mentioned. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you could give a chance and just keep him. There's no striker that really stands out anyway. So yeah, that looks fine. I like those transfers. Or injured against Inter. Yeah, exactly, but that would be, midway through? Let me double check this for you. I don't want to give you the wrong information. So basically, yeah, Liverpool play Norwich on the Saturday. So this Saturday, this midweek, so before that Saturday game for Liverpool, the 3 o'clock kickoff. Yeah, I think the only English team that plays in the Champions League is City. But in between that Liverpool-Norwich game and Liverpool-Leeds, there's going to be... am I getting this right? Because they're playing on the Wednesday here. Let me double check this, but yeah, I don't want to give you the wrong information. So, one second, let me check this. So Liverpool Inter Milan is on the 16th of February. Okay, there we go. 16th of February. Yeah, there's kind of a long break in between this. Yeah, no, you're right. I completely botched that, didn't I? It's 3 days before. The Inter game is 3 days before. Wait, let's see what's happening here. Yeah, I forgot the wrong screen. Yeah, it's 3 days before the Saturday lunchtime kickoff against Norwich. And then the Leeds fixture, the problem with that is that it's a few days before the Carabao Cup final. So thank you very much for that. I don't even know what I was thinking there. My fixtures or dates were all over the place. I'm kind of losing track of time because these months are going very quickly. But yeah, thank you very much for that. And yeah, that's a good point. If he gets injured against Inter, that's a problem. Che Adams is going under the radar. Yeah, I mean, he's showing a bit of form, but Che Adams is a bit of a frustrating player as well. But then again, all these strikers are right now. But, scored against Spurs and United. Haven't watched Haaland that much, but you need a high football IQ and with incredible pressing. I think he might suit the pressing and the high intensity style. I'm not sure if he has the passing range, for example, or the dribbling ability, but Haaland's an elite finisher. And, even if he's not, well, that's the thing where I was going to say not that involved in the play. Pep doesn't like a striker like that. That's why he didn't get on with Ibra. But yeah, a striker like Haaland, if he could improve as well his link-up play and all that, he'd be absolutely sensational at City, I think. Feel like I bench Edouard for Adams and Broja, or is that dumb? I would start Edouard, personally. Yeah, I'd start Edouard. Opinions about Spurs' form at the moment? Well, I mean, before the last 2 games, they were looking all right, Against Brighton, they looked very strong in the FA Cup. Against Southampton, still some good signs offensively, but defensively, well, dire. They are dire. I think they really need him to come back, and I think once that happens, they can build up from that position. In terms of the signings in January, not really that impressed by them. Kulusevski and Bentancur, two fringe players at Juventus. They got rid of Lo Celso, who hasn't really worked at Spurs, but I think he's a better player than Bentancur, so they haven't really upgraded there, and they needed more signings to really challenge for top 4. At least they made signings, to be fair, unlike Arsenal, but yeah, I expect them to bounce back a little bit. They could cause some problems for City, but I still expect the Citizens to beat them quite comprehensively, maybe by 2 goals. But Spurs could maybe make a statement against Burnley and also in the weeks to come. Zaha, decent shout potentially, but I'm still not a big fan of him. Could have won a penalty, I think it was against Brentford, but yeah, I don't know. Either way, his penalty taking isn't that great, as we saw against Norwich. Scored a great goal in that game. I don't know. From Crystal Palace, I prefer Edouard, Gallagher, and Elise. Fernandes or KDB to Salah. I'd rather keep KDB right now. Looking long term, I'd rather keep KDB and get rid of Fernandes. Welcome, Milan. Good to see you here once again. The Salah leak is true. Honestly, I have no idea. Some people think it's fake. I don't think there's proof that it is him. So I honestly have no idea. Okay, but I'm going to try to avoid... Oh, Mohamed Salah's trending. Jesus. I was literally going to see if I could... Okay, I don't want to see videos. Okay, so the first thing that comes up is Mo should now be even more hungry for silverware this season. So there's an article... Oh god, I'm seeing some memes here already. Jesus Christ. Oh no. Okay, no. I was trying to see some explanations about this, and I was already seeing some videos pop up with the thumbnails. I'm not looking at that crap. Who knows? Maybe it's a good Photoshop or something. Jota plus Laporte to Son and Robertson for a -4. That looks good. Then again, though, I'm a bit apprehensive of getting rid of Jota, for a hit, but might be worth it. I like that Laporte to Robertson move. And Jota to Son is also good, to be fair. In Game Week 26, who's the best captain without hits? Salah, all day long. From the players I have available, it's Trent. I still think he's up there. Son, Kane would be maybe good shouts as well, but the City game isn't that really appealing. Who thought Dyer will be the key to any defence? Exactly, but I think even Winks as well in the midfield, both of those players have improved the most under Conte, I think, from what I've watched from Spurs, which isn't too much, I'll admit, in terms of full games, but yeah, I think Dyer has actually been very, very crucial and, helping out with playing out from the back. Right now, Sanchez, Davis, they just struggle to clear the ball or just look commanding or imposing or just be comfortable when dribbling out from the back, so... Yeah, Dyer's been very important. Thank you very much for all the questions today. It's much appreciated. And once again, if you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new around here. And thank you for all the subscribers, the new subscribers we've got today. It's much appreciated. Good luck with the rest of Game Week 25. We still got that one more game. And good luck with just everything, really. Let me just see this. There we go. Okay. Just realised something. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, and also become a channel member by clicking the join button. Thank you very much to all the channel members right now, especially those in the Captain and Legend tier. So Rania, Rock and Roll, and Yarang. Much appreciated. Thank you to all the rest as well. The differential members like Wanja and John. Much appreciated. And also the Flying Dutchman, of course, who is always in the streams. Much appreciated. My Game Week 26 transfer plans is to get Salah back in for Fernandes, and Ronaldo would become either Harry Kane or Weghorst or another striker. And then, depending on what I do there, it would be Cucurella to Cody, if not Gray to Son. So it depends how I go about it. That no was a Lingard special. Oh, I haven't even... Well, maybe I've seen that Lingard video, but I can't remember how he says it. But yeah, no, because I didn't want to see it, but obviously it's kind of natural that people are going to retweet and like that the most. Should I bring in both Saka and Son from -8 in 26? It depends who you get rid of, Kai, but I do like those transfers. And if you are freeing in 27, then Saka does look good. Jet puts his team out for a -12, 11 double game week players. What I would say is if you haven't made your transfers already, consider just taking a -4 or a -8 and having 9 or 10 players instead. You don't need a full 11 of double game week players because you could have someone like Cancelo or Bowen on the bench who outscores some of the players in your starting 11. So I probably wouldn't do that. Weghorst and Gallagher to Salah. Weghorst and Gallagher to Salah. Salah. Yeah, no, I know the screen is stuck. It's on the outro section, Henry. But yeah, if Benny's Ronaldo. If that's a question of Workhorse and Gallagher or Salah, I'd go for Salah. Opinions about Trippier? Yeah, look, Trippier obviously 2 free kicks in a row. Very good set piece taker. I can see him getting assists and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. In terms of the defence for Newcastle, I still don't trust them despite their clean sheet against Aston Villa. But I have to say Newcastle looking much better recently, and Trippier should be considered now. But I'm still not going to go for him just yet. I've got other transfer plans to think about. But yeah, thank you very much to everyone for tuning in today. We're going to be wrapping up now. And yeah, we've got to 120 likes as well, so that's much appreciated. Good luck with the rest of Game Week 25 and also the rest of Game Week 26. Well, we've got plenty of time for that as well, and the Champions League. Be sure to tune in for Tuesday for the UCL Fantasy Deadline stream, and also all the FPL and UCL Fantasy content coming your way. You can check out the description below for all the links to my Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and much more. Take care, enjoy the football. If you have any questions that weren't answered or that you're too late to ask them, then just leave them down in the comment section below, and there's no problems at all. So just take care, enjoy, have fun, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.